big up everybody. What is going on? Welcome to Casually Chelsea. Casually FC. Welcome to another review of today's match. Match review and live reaction. Chelsea 3, Wolves 1, and what you just saw there was a very much deserved cheer for Trevoh Chalobah, easily man of the match in today's performance. Today's victory for Chelsea, a much needed victory for Chelsea. In the recent form that we've been in. I'm Marshall DBX, your host. As you can see, no panel today. I am starting a little bit later than I usually do for these reactions, but that is because I had to film something over at the Final Whistle podcast. You will see the video drop tomorrow, so be sure to check out the link in the description for Javon's channel, the Final Whistle podcast, and you'll see why I started my match review late, ladies and gents. You already know what to do. Big up to everybody. Be sure to smash up the like button down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to check out the links in the description, especially for our Discord, where you will find where you can have an active community, have your say on the match reaction, do watch alongs. Go ahead and put your receipts down there. Or if you want something for us on the channel to react to, which we don't do reacts as often as we used to because I can't keep up, guys. I'm a solo project here. Be sure to leave it down there. Maybe I'll react to that with the panel or by myself. Discord community is a great tool for you guys to get in touch and network with me as well. So big up to everybody who is joining in. Big up to the chat. And last but not least, guys, if you are a member, big up to our members in the chat. Use those emojis, show them off, and let the people know what's one of the few perks that you have in store for you if you are to be a member. And yeah, check it out. It's a great way to help out the community entirely. Aside from just showing up here and being a part of our chat and our live stream. Sorry, as I'm just catching up with some messages and texts, but big up to everyone here. As like I said, solo show as of now. Maybe someone will join me later and we'll have a full panel discussion. Like I said, this is later than the usual, so big up to everyone in the chat. We'll kind of run this like a Chelsea hour, except it'll be a little longer probably. But yeah, a much needed victory for Chelsea Football Club. And as per usual, a quick summary of the match, right? That's what we do here. So, Chelsea, what was it? 3 points in the last 16, I would say, right? 3 points out of 4 points out of a possible 18. I think we were at that because Bournemouth was our 6th winless, I believe. So Newcastle had jumped up ahead of us, but with Newcastle having dropped points against the same Bournemouth team that we drew against where they lost, this was Chelsea's time and chance to get back into the top 4, which they successfully did, thanks to the efforts of Cucurella, Tosin, and Madueke. So a lot of pressure going into this match. Chelsea players, the starting 11 that we saw today was missing core components of the starting 11, that being no Levi Colwell, no Romeo Lavia, no Enzo Fernandez. Cole Palmer was in doubts, but he made it today and played about 80 minutes, which is another thing that we're going to be discussing today in terms of the substitutes and some of the changes that were made. KDH makes his debut. Chalobah, his first start for Chelsea this season, also on that pitch as a left center back. And an interesting decision to have Cucurella in the inverted role or in the midfield, almost like an attacking 8 today. So Chelsea start off the match, look dominant. They have the energy. Nani Madueke creating chances on that right-hand side, struggling a bit today as well. Neto also struggled a bit, but still, nonetheless, trying to create chances on the wings. We were putting a lot of pressure on Wolves. And it wasn't long until an opportunity came. We win a corner. Corner comes in, and the keeper. I think the keeper gets it out, or one of the players gets it out. It lands on Reece James, who takes a shot. I believe that the flex or something that ends up landing at Tosin's feet, and Tosin puts it away. After a VAR check where we saw Tosin was clearly onside because of Coutinho, or not Coutinho, Cunha. Sorry, Coutinho. Wow, Cunha. Tosin Adarbayo once again puts us onto the scoreboard. We're leading the match 1-0. Unfortunately, though, in the last 10 minutes of that first half, Chelsea take on a lot of pressure, a lot of lack of composure, a lot of bit of head loss, some may say. Cunha drives in a corner. It's an in-swinger because Cunha is right-footed. So we get an in-swinger that goes towards Sanchez. Obvious crowding of the keeper tactics being used by Wolves. And in a moment, in a lapse of concentration, once again, Robert Sanchez, instead of catching the ball, loses control of it, drops it on the ground, and Matt Doherty is there to put it away. And we go into the second half 1-1. And now the narrative going into the second half is Chelsea are going to capitulate. Chelsea in recent games, when they don't put away their chances, when they go into the half 1-0, end up losing it in the second half, as we saw against Crystal Palace, as we saw against Bournemouth, as we saw how we capitulate these games and don't see out the 1-0, right? Fortunately for us, and in that first half, things still look a little shaky. Fortunately for us, in a moment of persistence, in a moment of just stubbornness from our wingers, trying the tactic, cross into the box, cross into the box, cross into the box. Nani Madueke finally is able to pull off a cross into the box that lands in front of, I forget who it lands in front of. Actually, let me look at this real quick. I actually have the play, so I can look at it from this angle right here. I think it actually lands right in front of Cucurella, who takes a touch, gets it behind the net, and listen, in proper casual and proper Chelsea fashion, picks up the ball, knows that we need to win this match, knows that we need to widen the gap, and we reset once again. And it only took 5 minutes later, 5 minutes from a corner, I believe, a header from Trevoh Chalobah, Nani Madueke, who is desperate for a goal, Nani Madueke, who is desperate to impress, Nani Madueke, who we will discuss today, gets a header to assure that the goal goes into the net. Shamelessly looking at Chalobah, shamelessly in the press conference saying, hey, I told Chalobah he should be happy with an assist on his return to Chelsea, and that he gets paid to put in the goal behind the net, or the ball behind the net. Shameless of you, Madueke, but hey, it is what it is. Chelsea end up victorious, 3-1 victory, and a much-deserved victory. A lot of pressure taking off the shoulders of Chelsea, the shoulders of Maresca. A victory very much needed, because need I remind people that our next match is up against Man City. And a Man City that have picked up in form. Now, I was predicting that maybe Man City, because of the occasion, because of the caliber of the team, maybe Man City is the match where we start to turn our fortunes around. But we saw it. It happened today. Chelsea get a victory. Although shaky, we do get that victory, and we see out the match. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to talk about transfers this game. I'm going to be minor crackling in the background. That might be, I don't know what that would be from. But let me know if the crackling is still happening. It could be very much my microphone being too loud. But yeah, ladies and gents. So like I said, a bit of a solo show, so I'm going to just focus on the member and mod comments. I'll try to read your comments as best as I can, but I am also trying to do a review here and not be interrupted and really just kind of get my thoughts out there. But we got to start with the one and the only, and the first order of business is Trevoh Chalobah. Now, before I start to come here with a bunch of compliments and praising the performance on the pitch today, the man of the match performance from Trevoh Chalobah, I do need to reassure people a little bit of humbling, right? So, it's one match. And like I said before, these players do step up for the occasion. Obviously, what's the occasion in this instance? Trevoh Chalobah back in the starting lineup, back after all the drama that happened with Chelsea, was outcasted from the Chelsea squad, sent to Crystal Palace, in a chance to show and prove to the ownership that he can be of use to this team. He can be of use to Enzo Maresca. Under the lights at Stamford Bridge, the crowd is cheering your name. The crowd missed you. The team is excited to see you again. All the good feelings with Trevoh Chalobah. You knew it was your time to shine and your time to step up, and you did exactly that. And that's exactly what we need from Trevoh Chalobah. I never at any point in this platform or on this platform have denied that Trevoh Chalobah is a good center back. A good center back. He is not world class. He is not top class. He is not our best center back, in my opinion. Still, time will tell. There is context to Pochettino's era, right? Where he was playing well. Overall, the team started to perform well. Overall, we started to shape up better. Chalobah was gone for most of the season, and he shows up when we were going in good form. And so as a result, the light shines on him in a positive way rather than a negative way when we were in bad form. So there is that context. Chalobah, to me, can still have bad performances in him, can still have that bozo moment, can still have his defensive liabilities. But today, we saw the best of Chalobah. The Chalobah that a lot of fans remember from last season and the season prior under Tuchel. And not even under Tuchel, the season before that even, right? We've seen what Chalobah can do. Chalobah is capable of being a top center back. A top defender, I'll even say, because he can defend in the wide spaces, right? He can do the job at right back. We've seen him do it. He can do the job in the defensive midfield. We've seen him do it for Laurent as well as for Chelsea before when we needed him to step up to that occasion. We were really, grasping at scraps, really, right? Grasping at straws. But I need to remind people that this performance today doesn't define how he's been at Chelsea his whole entire career. He has made errors. He has had those errors swept up by Thiago Silva. He has had those deficiencies hidden because of the system Tuchel played, because Thiago Silva is behind him, because Reece James is there to support him, right? Today is a good performance by Chalobah. It is not the defining performance of Chalobah. And I still don't think Chalobah is the answer. However, if he continues to perform like this, if he can continue to provide these performances and provide these top-notch, top-level clearances, passing ability, vision to see the pass, just to be able to get stuck in and read the game and not have to commit fouls to which we've seen where our defenders, they have to commit fouls to get some of these tackles. Today, Chalobah, 10 out of 10, phenomenal performance, phenomenal first game for Chelsea. If he keeps it up, he can become the solution. And I want to emphasize that. He can become the solution. He is not the solution. He is not the solution. But that's not to say he can't be the solution. He just has to keep it going, okay? And I hope he does, especially when you look at that midfield. Guys, I want to point out, not the midfield, but I want to point out the center backs, right? We had a center back 3 of James on the right, Tosin in the middle, and Chalobah on the left. Now, Chalobah can very perfectly. I think Chalobah's more comfortable in the right center back. So remind me, guys, if that's the case. When Levi comes back, I do expect Levi to retake his position at left center back, Chalobah to be at the right center back, potentially Tosin in the middle or Reece James in the middle, or even Levi Cole in the middle, Reece James in the right, and Chalobah in the left. But like I said, there is a chemistry there. There was like a solidity. Because let's be real, like today defensively, we were pretty solid. We weren't conceding that much XG. They scored from a set piece. If it wasn't for Robert Sanchez's bozo mistake, we actually keep a clean sheet today. That was a solid defensive performance from the three in general. Tosin had a good performance. Reece James, another top-notch performance. And the three of them, from the three at the back, were able to actually ping passes and were able to provide for us in a creative outlet when we were missing Enzo Fernandez. They were able to provide for us in terms of passing and the long passing and finding the runs. The three in general, usually there's only one that does the passing from the back and dictates it. Today, it was all three of them. And that was really impressive to see because it gave us a lot of outlets. It didn't benefit, for example, Nicholas Jackson that much, but for our wingers, there was outlets there. But just our wingers couldn't really do what they wanted to do all the time. Eventually, we broke them down. Eventually, we wore them out, and eventually we were able to get through the Wolves defense. But it came from the constant persistence from our center backs to ping the ball out and find the passes. And Reece James today as well is another one I got to mention. Played 70 minutes, I believe, today. Sensational 70 minutes. Good performance. I need to see Reece continue this. That's 2 games now that he's been able to perform. Okay? 2 games where he's been able to show up and be a part of the team. And we need that to continue. We need that to continue because I hate to say it, we're at a point now with Chelsea where we need every single possible body that can be a game changer to be involved. And that includes Reece. Reece is that game changer. Reece is one of those players that, if you forgot, because it's been a while, and I know it's been a while, Reece is one of those players that can come in and completely carry this team on his back. And he reminded us against Bournemouth that he could do that. He is a clinical player. He can be the game changer. And today, we didn't need it, luckily, but when we do, we have to hope that he stays fit because Palmer can be that sometimes, but we've seen today's performance, it kind of dries up, all right? And sometimes we don't need to rely on Palmer all the time. And I hope we don't need to rely on Palmer all the time to get us the result, which is what happened today. We didn't need to rely on Palmer to get us a result. But sometimes when Palmer can get you the result, it's nice to have another player in that team that can, like a Reece James. So kudos to Reece James for staying fit. This is a second game. Let's keep it going. We have Man City next, and hopefully he can show up. But coming back to Trevoh Chalobah, like I said, phenomenal performance. I hope he can stay in the match. I hope he can, stay fit. I hope he continues retaining his position, right, in the team, in the first 11. And let's see what happens because he can be pretty valuable asset to this team if he keeps it up. Big up Ahmed. What are you saying, broski?
Sorry,
overall match reaction. Oh my days. Hold on.
Am I loud?
Yes, you're very loud.
Okay, let me reduce that.
Actually, if anything, let me do it from my end. Let me just lower your mic volume. Hold on.
No, I know it is. I put my game really loud, that's why.
Ah, Jesus fuck. Yeah, you're really, really loud, bro.
I should be fine now. Am I good now?
I lowered your mic on my end. Chat, let me know if he's fine. Yeah, you're incredibly loud. Man's really trying to make it work. But yeah, in terms of our defense today, it was very low for you guys. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really think we need to talk about defense today. Defense wasn't an issue today.
No, well, okay, hold on. We don't need to talk about issues all the time. We could talk about praises as well. Our defense did good today, and you got to praise it. Chalobah is the man of the match.
Can I just say, British Nation might be saying a crazy hot take here, but I don't really feel like I need to be hyping up my defense for doing a good job against a team that is close to being relegated. With all due respect.
Brother, we lost to Ipswich 2-0.
No,
We'll
but
take
again,
our wins where we
but
can.
But again, like, you know,
This defense is shit, Ahmed.
Tranquilo. I'm trying to make the point, yeah, that even against those shit teams, I should be expecting us to have a standard performance to stop our defense to be doing a job against those guys as well. That's what I'm saying. Was it good, Marshall? But at the end of the day, if y'all gonna give guys credit, what credit is due, Chalobah deserves credit. Right, of course, this is his first game back. He's played really well. He did a lot of jobs which were much better than what he was doing previously. I think Tosin today, obviously from a scoring aspect, was much better. I'm pretty sure you would say that. Reece Dim did what he does. With regards to Mark Cucurella, I think initially.
Well, actually, so before we get into that, because I do want to slowly but surely. Well, no, there's nothing, dude. It's just I just want to.
I know. I hate Cucurella, bro, but like, you know,
no,
stop.
Like we'll get to Cucurella because I don't want to jump all over the map. Let's kind of just try to be a little more focused on this one because there's a lot we need to analyze in terms of every position, and I don't want to stray or miss anyone, right? I just talk about the center back, the three in the back, and how this looks decent, right? I think when Levi Cole comes in, I think a back three of Reece, Levi, and Chalobah could potentially be really good for us going forward. Hopefully, it helps us keep clean sheets or at least concede less. And today, we also need to point out that had it not been for that stupid mistake from Robert Sanchez, we keep a clean sheet. And we need to talk about this, right? I mean, there's nothing new to say. We already knew that Robert Sanchez concedes these stupid mistakes, but there's also context to it. And for this match in particular, and for other matches in particular, I think this is part of the problem, right? It's the lack of focus, and it spreads throughout our whole entire team, not just Robert Sanchez. If you look back at the goal, which now that you're here, Ahmed, I might have some time to find it. If you look back at the goal, if you look back at the corners and how the corners went this whole entire match, the referee 3 times today had to stop the match to separate these guys because of how physical today's match was. Today's match was purely physical. You could tell Wolves were trying to get in there. I think they accumulated 3 or 4 yellow cards in today's match. Fouling Palmer, fouling Caicedo, so on and so forth, which we'll talk about Caicedo as well. In that corner, in that set piece that Robert Sanchez fumbles, you can see that clearly the tactic was crowd the keeper, get in his head, distract him. And as Robert Sanchez is about to catch the ball, right before he's about to jump for the ball, he pushes a Wolves player away and he's distracted. And then he goes to make the jump. I don't think he even realized he caught the ball, bro. I don't think he even realized he caught the ball. Gets the ball and then drops it. And it's a stupid lapse of concentration from Robert Sanchez. And a very, very frustrating one. Obviously, Ahmed, I'm sure you feel very, very similar about it. But as I send CP the link, go ahead. Tell me your thoughts on this one.
I mean, I think I've run out of expletives. I've run out of words, similes, whatever you want to say, in regards to like Robert Sanchez. And I think for me, again, it just comes down to like, for some reason, the ownership wasn't able to move him off in the summer, it seems. And then the manager himself is just continuously keeps on backing him. And like the reality is, like, I think we've spoken about this guy way too much. We already know that he's not good enough for us. We know he can't really focus for full 90 minutes. We know that he keeps some. He's always got a mistake in him. We also know he's got a little bit of a bozo gene in him. And so, for me, Marshall, the reality is I don't understand at this point why is he still here, bro? Respectfully, you know, why? Listen, I don't like Jorgensen. I don't want to advocate for Jorgensen to start because you know my take that Jorgensen and him are virtually the same. But this comes back to again the scouting department and goalkeeping wise. There are so many good options out there. There's much better options out there. Why aren't we trying to bring those guys in?
So obviously, listen. Let me have a real honest talk with you, Ahmed. It's not happening in January.
I don't say no. By the way, I don't think goalkeeper needs to happen in January. You know this too. I'm saying though,
okay,
in the summer. I'm talking about summer wise. Yes.
It's in, yo. You ever seen the movie Inception?
I'm listening.
You ever see the movie Inception?
Of course, you know I've seen Inception. I'm a movie guy. You know.
Okay, ladies and gents, the movie Inception, because that's about what I'm about to do to Ahmed. All right, we're gonna go layer by layer. Okay. Second layer. Okay, Christopher Nolan special. Maresca, whether it be from the directors or his own take, in the summer said, Sanchez is my keeper. I'm going to... He's the ball-playing keeper that I need. So, in a hypothetical, if he's the one saying this, which I doubt, because I think we all know he wanted Hermansen from Leicester. That's the rumor, right? If he is saying this, then the directors are going to give Maresca time to work with Sanchez, see if he works out for him, if you can get the best out of him, and then in the summer we'll assess. And in the summer maybe we'll get Penders. Although all of us here on the panel said in the beginning of last summer...
I know you didn't say Penders.
I think Penders is the one that they're going to rely on.
Do you know how old Penders is, bro?
18.
So we're going back to around an 18-year-old goalkeeper again that we know needs a lot of time to develop, Marshall. Remember, goalkeepers usually peak towards their late 20s, bro, unironically. Usually speaking, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it seems like right now they're resting their laurels on Penders. That's what it means. Like, I'm not vouching for or against. It's more so like I'm trying to understand why they're doing what they're doing, where they're coming from. And to me, obviously, I don't think Sanchez is the solution. And I think they're not going to go for a experienced center back or experienced goalkeeper. Like, this is the things that I do so that I don't disappoint myself at this point. Because at some point, you got to realize, like, bro, if you work at McDonald's, don't be upset if you can't afford a Ferrari at the end of the year. Because you work at McDonald's, bro. Like, you just got to accept the reality as it is and hope that they can work in your favor in some shape or form. And to me, it's like, why get upset about the whole goalkeeper situation? We know they're not going to do it. So let's hope that Penders is the solution that they come up with, because that's the one that they seem to be resting their laurels on.
Are we just meant to be accepting the abuse? You know what I mean? Just non-stop. We're just meant to be, you know, just keep our legs open while we just take the abuse.
If it were up to me or you, Ahmed, I would say no. Because we would just get up and get rid of the fucking keeper and buy another keeper. But it's not up to us. We have to just sit here and get cucked and take it. Like, that's, I'm sorry to say. Like, it's very unfortunate that we don't own Chelsea Football Club. Otherwise, I'd say, like, yeah, let's riot and get another keeper. So for me, honestly, Ahmed, listen, you know who I am. You know how I am, Ahmed. For me, I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. Like, there's nothing I could do about this. I just kind of have to, like, sit here and be like, okay, well, let's hope for the best and work with what you got. Petrovic, I was hoping maybe they would recall him. They haven't recalled him because he's improved in his passing ability from the back. Right? We've seen the stats that apparently Rosignor is getting the best out of him in terms of getting him to do passing from the back and playing out the back. But they're not planning to recall him. I think the idea is to sell him. They keep saying Penders is the next Courtois this, Belgian this, all this and that. Well, let's hope they're fucking right, because if he is the next Courtois, then cool. He should be better than Sanchez. And let's see what happens in the summer.
I feel like, I feel like I'm just getting, I don't know what this, I don't want to say this. It's Peggy 18.
Ahmed, you very much like me, you go outside and you touch grass. At the end of the day, there's no point in me just getting upset about the same thing over and over again. Because what do they say? Repeating the same thing over and over again is just a sign of insanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I could get upset about it, but honestly, my energy is better spent on other things like touching grass, observing the grass,
No,
cutting the
Marshall,
grass,
everything you're
nourishing
talking
the
about-
grass,
Listen, Marshall, everything you're saying is
being one with the
everything-
grass,
Listen, Marshall, everything you're saying is
smoking the grass. I'm just saying, there's other ways to de-stress, Ahmed.
Listen, it's not. I don't think my issue is de-stressing, but like at some point, you're seeing this happen week in, week out, bro. You're getting stabbed week
That
in,
too,
week
broski,
out.
but I'm not.
You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna say it.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like you're getting stabbed week in, week out. By the way, from seeing the same shit happen, and like it's coming too. And it's just like it does get annoying to an extent. Like I get
It
this
does.
season. For me, I understand. Obviously this season nothing's gonna change that much because obviously he's gonna be here. But my thing is, you guys have to have realized by now that from a summer perspective, this guy he just can't be here next summer, bro. Like I'm hoping that's the
agree.
realization.
I'm hoping. It's all hope. I was just talking to Eunice and Javon about this, right? A lot of it right now is all hope. It's just hoping that these sporting directors turn it around, or that whatever the fuck they're planning actually pans out. And that's where I'm at right now, because I'm not gonna get upset or react about, oh, we're talking to Garnacho. Oh, we were talking to Maino 2 weeks ago, and that died out as well.
Okay. But Marshall, the difference is when you're seeing his agent is at the stadium. His agent's not at the stadium, Marshall.
Bro, his agent can do whatever the fuck he wants. If his agent wants to film a porno at the bridge, I don't give a fuck. Dude, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be some reactionary fucking bitch on socials, on YouTube, crying about Chelsea talking to Garnacho. When you put it across the line, then I will stand on business, and then I'll call out the directors. But as of right now, if you want to talk all you want. I don't care. Chit chat. We live in social media now. You can send a message and it gets to your player instantly. It's beautiful. It's beautiful how technology's worked for us. I don't give a fuck. As long as it doesn't come across the line, I do not care.
Okay, listen, that can be your own view, but there is fundamentally, whether you like to admit it or not, an issue that our club thought that Alejandro Garnacho was a target worthy of even speaking to. Do you not see that as an issue? For me, I don't even think the issue is more so if the player comes here. If he comes here, if he comes here, at the end of the day, whether even I like it, you know what I mean? Whether I like it or not, he's here. We just got to keep it pushing. But for me, it's more so the intent. Why even start speaking with the player? Why even go into speaking with the player? For me, fundamentally speaking, I just don't see it with Garnacho. And I think I think you would probably agree with this. Many others would agree with this. I think for me, my issue always becomes, I'm not saying, if he comes here, my issue is why are we even targeting him? Does that make sense?
Okay. It does. I agree with it. Personally, by the way, we're at 40 viewers and there's only 12 likes. Guys, smash up the like button because we won. It was a much deserved win. And you guys are coming in here with this energy like you lost the match. And you don't want to like it because you don't want to manifest and condemn or promote loser mentality. We just won a match. Winner's mentality. So smash up the like button if you are a winner. And let's keep these wins coming in. All right, guys? Big up to every single one of you who just smashed the button. Okay. So with the Alejandro Garnacho, I think it goes without saying, very much I do not want the player, right? I think you know I don't want the player.
I'm not sure about that, big man.
Bro, why would I want Garnacho? I don't want Garnacho.
That was Bridge Nation trolling. That was Bridge Nation.
Okay, you almost set me off there, bro. But I don't want Garnacho. But there's a but. Okay. First of all, I think it's okay to inquire about a player, because if Garnacho were to say, if we can bargain a deal for 20, 30 mil for Garnacho, then sure. I'm seeing the prices that are being touted out there, and I'm thinking, okay, that's definitely not going to happen. 60 million euros for Garnacho, not going to happen. Our sporting directors are definitely not going to entertain that. There's no way they do. So that being said, when you look away from the United performances, United overall have been shit, absolute shit. And when you put Garnacho in front of the goal, 9 times out of 10, he's missing it. He is not a finisher. As much as he might want to think he is not a finisher. He sucks in front of goal. But there's other aspects to his game that are actually not that bad. Now, I don't want that, because for me, at this point with Chelsea, Ahmed, I want someone that's going to give me results, not someone that I have to develop more. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind developing a player. Like a Mateus Tell, he's a player that needs to develop, but I don't mind developing him because I know he can still give me results. Like, he can still score me goals, he can still give me assists, and he's at a level where it's like, this is a very, very good talent. Garnacho, there's potential there, but the talent is low based on what I saw at United. I still think, in terms of Garnacho, he can make good runs in behind. He can create, not like Nani can create or like Neto can create, but he can create in terms of what he can use in his pace. And he has, to be fair to him, in this United side, I think if United were actually, on like they should be with an actual striker, I think Garnacho gets more assists than he's actually putting off in his GNA. So I think he's also at the same time also not underperforming what he's supposed to do to the circumstances. The other factor, though, I need to put in there, because I think you're going to bring this up at some point too, is his attitude. I don't like his attitude. I think he has a really, really shitty attitude, and his brother is not any help to that. So I personally don't want him. I don't think it's going to happen, because if Duran doesn't happen because of his attitude, there is no way in fuck Garnacho doesn't happen because of
the reason
attitude.
why I would have to kind of listen. We'll come back to why I disagree with that point, but I think my issue is when we talk about goals, they're talking. The club has consistently said, specifically stated, non-stop, this idea of goal scoring winger. That's been the big thing, right? Goal scoring wingers, right? Matthias still fits that bracket because he actually is a goal scorer. Like, whenever he come on, he usually scores goals for Bayern last season, in particular under Tuchel, etc., etc. Even Adeyemi, I get maybe from like a pay standpoint, like they may value that a lot more. There's something there at the end of the day, which I hear, and at the end of the day, he can fit that left wing striker position quite a lot more neatly than even Alejandro Garnacho, right? But I think for me, when you look at Garnacho, his output is poor. The way he plays is very raw, very he's not been coached. Obviously, he's had Oli, and then he's had, obviously, what's his name? The last man, Ten Hag as well, right? Ten
Hag,
yeah. His attitude is in that. His attitude, obviously, used to spoken about as well,
sucks, yeah.
right? And then so there's a combination of all of that, yeah. And when the club of themselves saying they don't want guys with attitude, they want guys who are coming in with a certain repertoire, etc., etc. Then it doesn't work. And the thing is, he's not even a goal scoring winger. He doesn't score goals consistently, right? If you're gonna go for a goal scoring winger, I hate to use this example, but at least he validates this. Cucurella is a goal scoring winger. He's got 10 goals in his league. Plays the left wing. That's actually someone called a goal scoring winger. Let me give you another example. Yeah, in that position, Byron Gittins, obviously, I know that's someone that apparently the club is targeted for the summer. He's a good example of a goal scoring winger because he scores goals, and even he has the benefit of assisting. So I think that's the problem, bro. I think that's the problem really with Garnacho. And I think the problem for me becomes, when you're hearing Chelsea have had a meeting again today with Manchester United from Fabrizio. Yeah, these aren't like, fake meetings. When it's coming from Fabrizio usually, and he's talking about meetings are actually occurring at a regular interval to get stuff to happen, then this is not me saying, oh, he can't come here or not. This is me saying the club is really actively engaging in trying to make the deal happen at this point.
Yeah, because they want to see if they can get the deal for lower. 60 million euros is not going to happen for Garnacho. There's no way these sporting directors.
It doesn't matter what the price is, Marshall. I'm just saying.
No, it does. It does.
No, the reason why I say that
same price, Ahmed, for that same price, there's no links.
No. The reason why I'm saying it doesn't matter about the price. I'm just saying more. I don't. They will probably get whatever price they were looking for, knowing these guys, right? So I don't really care about that. I'm also talking about the fact they engage in it and trying to make it happen. That is really where I think the issues become. Starts for me.
I don't want to dwell too much on Garnacho because obviously this is a match review, right? And we want to talk about the match, but there are deficiencies to discuss. And I mean, Garnacho does come into that discussion in terms of like what the directors are trying to think of in terms of fixing these deficiencies, right? And I don't think, both of us agree, I don't think Garnacho is that solution. But at the same token, these directors haven't really struck out too badly in terms of the attacking and midfield options. And the center back options, they've been horrible, and we've seen the results of that. But in terms of the attacking options, the recruitment has been there for the most part, and you can see that we have good players, but they're just in a lull right now. We will see what happens to Garnacho, because as far as I'm aware, the way I see it, the directors are currently in a negotiation stage in terms of like, they're just doing their research. They're seeing how much is Gittins going for? How much is Gay going for? How much can we potentially get Garnacho for? How much can we get this player for and that player? The other one, the one from Lazio, how much is he going for? You know, like there's inquiries and questions being asked and possible negotiations for down the line, because I think the big move is going to be in the summer. I think that's how they're planning. They want to see what's going to happen in the summer. Oh boy.
All right, fair enough. Just the last point. According to Pies, Igbali really wants him, and he's the one that's actively engaging in conversations. So
we will see.
Be worried. Let's be worried. I was gonna say hashtag be worried.
I will react when it happens, but prior to that, miss me with that.
Man. Let's get back to the game. Obviously, I know you were
back to the game.
We were talking obviously about Mr.
Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez. The reality is, we know what this guy's about. We know what he's like. I just think I don't really, even though I don't really rate this guy. In you had my thoughts on Jorgensen. Let's just see what Jorgensen's like for another game, right? You know what I mean? The problem for me is that because literally right now, bro. Obviously, as you and I both know, he's not going in January. We're not getting another keeper in January. The reality is we just got to start either swapping GKs really and seeing maybe if something changes. And I don't really like that either, but that's what we got to currently deal with, bro.
So today it's two things. One, for that goal, it's obviously Sanchez's fault, right? Two, and this is where it starts getting bad, right? For Enzo Maresca, in terms of persisting with this player. The opposition have figured out how to... The oppositions now know that Sanchez is a type of goalkeeper that can get rattled pretty easily. And that can get distracted and that can fumble when he's under a lot of pressure and there's a lot of things going on around him. The man was overstimulated today in that keeping position, bro.
What the fuck does that mean?
That means there was a lot of shit going on around him. He was distracted. Man's an ADHD case in there. Couldn't focus on the fact that there's a fucking in-swinger coming in. And it's like, no, not like that, bro. God damn. No. That's one way to get stimulated, but that's not the way I'm talking about. What I'm saying is in terms of like, my dude was just not focused and he catches the ball. Bro, I don't even think he realized he caught the ball. I think he was like, oh shit. Oh, and he drops it and you can see the goal. It's the lapse of focus. So I got to give a little bit of credit to Wolves for that goal because just the shithousery that was going on. That's where I'm coming at a little bit, but regardless, Sanchez needs to do better. That doesn't happen to Peter Cech. That doesn't happen to Casillas. That doesn't happen to Neuer. That doesn't happen to top goalkeepers. That barely happens to Alisson. You know, that doesn't happen to these keepers. So it goes in tandem what you're saying, Ahmed. Like, obviously, we have goalkeeping deficiencies. We need to improve on the keeper. it just can't happen. But I just don't think Jurgensen is the solution either. Unfortunately, he's not instilled me with confidence to say like. It might be the situation that you're saying. It's just a rotation of like, okay, we'll play you until you make a mistake, and then we'll play Sanchez until he makes a mistake, and then we'll keep rotating, ring around the rosy until we can get through the season and replace both of you, to be honest. That's where I'm at with it, man. Speechless, I know. Yeah, because I'm so reasonable.
Oh, you know what, man? I don't like this new Marshall that I'm seeing, man.
There's no new Marshall, man. It's just
this is the woke Marshall. Woke Marshall. We got woke Marshall.
Nah, I shoveled snow for 2 hours, and a lot of my energy left with the snow. Fucking a foot of snow outside of my house, bro. Shoveling all day. My back hurts, dog. I'm fucking tired. So I'm just not having it.
Uncle Settings, man. Man said his back hurts after 2 hours snow, man.
Bro, my back hurts. Chelsea won a game. I'm just like, all right, finally, man. Like people can calm down a little bit. But okay. With Robert Sanchez, it is. You know what it is too, Ahmed? I didn't go on Discord to watch the game today. Guys, I couldn't do the crash outs anymore. I needed to have solo meditation. I need to watch my Chelsea by myself. Me and Chelsea, one-on-one. Let's have a discussion. And look what happened. We have this discussion. We win 3-1. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like I needed Chelsea and me and Chelsea. But okay, defense today I think was pretty good. Obviously, Reece James, good performance from him. Tosin, can't really complain much about him. I think he did a good performance as well today. I just hope he keeps it up. Obviously, he gets us a goal. The midfield was weird today. I think the midfield, and before we actually get to like the more action part of it, let's actually get to the first part of it, which is I think today, for the most part, was a single pivot midfield with Caicedo. Caicedo was really the one staying back while you had KDH attacking on the right-hand side, Palmer more of the left middle, and Cucurella just coming in as an attacking 8 the whole time. Caicedo. Bro, I don't know if this happened to you. And I talked about this in the review that I just came from. Today, dude, my heart dropped to my asshole. Because at one point in today's match, I forget who it was. Maybe it was Cunha. Cunha falls on Caicedo. Caicedo's knee is bent in a weird, it's like, hyperextend, like it's bent backwards. And he falls on it and he puts like, he lands on it and Caicedo is down for a little bit. Bro, at that moment, Ahmed, I shit you not, I got on my hands and knees and I started praying. Saying, please, Caicedo, not like this. Caicedo, please get up, Caicedo. Bro, if we lose this player, just say it right now. Our season is done. Our season is done if we lose Caicedo. I will say that. And I try not to be overreactionary. Caicedo today nearly gave me a heart attack because he stayed on the ground for a little longer than I wanted him to. Luckily, he's able to see out the match. He had a decent performance today. I think he was a solid performance. And one of the other players that in this team overall can be consistent, has those solid performances in him, and can maintain, the midfield by himself today like he did. I don't think he's going to get away with that all the time, but regardless, he was able to do a shift. Ahmed, talk to me about Caicedo. Were you also shitting yourself a little bit when he stayed on the ground for as long as he did?
Not really, because like at the end of the day, like if he did get injured, I wouldn't be too surprised because he's been playing so much non-stop. Like, of course, like I would not be happy that he's gone, but like I wouldn't be surprised because like we have really overplayed the player in the sense that he consistently plays for us non-stop. So it wouldn't surprise me. Of course, losing him would be a big loss, but then I just go back to say, maybe we should be bringing back some of that depth that, we decided to put on loan, maybe.
Time will tell if that happens or not. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
It's like, again, like, for me, as upset as I am at the fact that, because I said this last stream, right? Like, if you do anything in this window, call back a midfielder in Leslie, center back, which I think in terms of the center back situation, I would like another one, but I think they solved or put a Band-Aid on the situation with bringing back Chalobah. And I was saying that even before today's performance, bringing back a center back. And if possible, let's see what happens in the striker situation. I don't think anything is going to happen. So realistically for me, the moves were a midfielder and a center back, and we'll see out the rest of the season, and we'll do the actual recruitment in the summer because it's hard to do it in January. That's the part where I'm like, bro, I understand maybe not Santos. I get that. You don't want to interrupt his loan. I don't really care. It's Strasbourg, but maybe they do. There's an interest in there with Strasbourg. They want both teams to succeed. Fine. Leslie Ugochukwu, who since coming into the side, who since actually being favored and being played and given minutes, from what I've seen of Leslie, which I've actually been watching a little bit of Leslie, bro, this guy has been a difference maker for Southampton. When he's on the pitch, they control the midfield. When he's on the pitch, Southampton look dangerous. He's not that good at set pieces. I'm not gonna lie to you. Against who was it? He lost his marker in set pieces. Leslie, I forget if that was the what game? What did they just play? Who did they just play? Nottingham Forest. Yeah, he lost. I think he lost Wood or I forget who it was. But regardless, he lost his man marker. He's not that good at set pieces in terms of defending. But in the midfield, he's doing a job and he's putting in a shift. And there was a big difference when he came on for Southampton versus when they started the match. And that's the type of player that, in my opinion, you need to bring this guy back because we could use him. He is a proper 6. He's a proper DM. Romeo Lavia, once again, not available for this match, whether it be for fitness or re-injury, which I don't know which one it was, if it was a re-injury or fitness.
He's going to be out for quite a while. That's the word on the street.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. Time will tell with testing and stuff. But Maresca did say, like, he's worried that his injury is worse than Enzo's, which Enzo I don't think is like a serious injury. It could be like a knock or something. But, like, bro, we need that player. We can't just go the rest of the season with just Enzo and Caicedo. And today was a scare for me. We nearly lost Caicedo today. If it was in a worse position or in a second sooner or a second later, maybe that's a knee injury right there for Caicedo, and he's out for the rest of the season. It was his bad knee on top of it too, the one he wears a brace on. So it was just, I was really worried because he's usually, the way he reacted, which was like, you know, like almost like a quick nerve reaction versus like acting, right? He looked like he was in a lot of pain, and he was off the pitch for a little bit, and then he came back on, thankfully. So that was a big scare for me today. I think he had a good performance, but I agree with you, right? Like, I do think we need to bring back at least Leslie Ugochukwu, and time will tell. There's still 10 days left to the window, or maybe a little more than that, to make that move happen. Maybe they're seeing what other options are. Like, listen, this is all devil's advocate shit. We'll see what happens if they actually recall him or not. But I agree with you on that. Outside of Caicedo, though, Cucurella today, man. Very interesting position for him. I don't know if you agree with me, Ahmed, but he played like an attacking 8 today. He was there for the most part. I didn't really see him defend. He was just an attacking 8 option, like a box crasher at all times whenever those crosses were coming in, leading me to believe that today's tactic was just, bro, cross the ball into the box, someone's head's going to be there. And Cucurella was there every single time, and I think it's because they had him play that Enzo role of attacking 8. What did you think about his performance today? Because I know you wanted to mention it earlier.
I think he played all right. Big up to him. Shout out to Cucurella. Good goal. We needed that goal to make it 2-1. Credit where credit is due. I think definitely one thing about him that he does have a sense of awareness, something that for some reason our striker does not have, which is when to go into the box, you know what I mean? When to really make that run, if that makes sense. So that's something that has to be said at the very least.
Yeah. Let's actually go over the goal real quick because I have it here. I'll try to find the other goals in a bit. But yeah, we're looking at Cucurella's goal here. Like I was saying, today he had a very box crashy role. You could always see him, if you rewatch the game and if you were paying attention to the game, every time there was a cross, Cucurella was there in the box with with Jackson, or Neto as well in there, or if it was Neto crossing it in, it was Nani on the far end keeping the width, but also in the box. So we hear Nani, who we need to talk about Nani today, because I don't want to go on assist today, but the performance discussion needs to be had. But Nani gets a cross in, and we see there KDH was in the box as well, almost like two attacking eights, to be honest. So today's formation was almost like a single pivot at Caicedo and two attacking eights in the form of KDH on the right, Cucurella on the left, and Cole Palmer as a 10 in the middle. And yeah, cross comes in.
He didn't get the assist for this, by the way. This is not his assist.
Why? Because it deflected or something?
No, because KDH flicks
KDH got it. Oh, yeah.
It's the reason why it works, that works, because KDH flicks it on to then provide it to him. That's how it works. Bro. RSM.
Yeah, funny. So you're right. I didn't see that. Before. So yeah, I mean, Nani puts in the cross. I am blind. And KDH flicks it on. Cucurella takes a touch and puts it away. And this is the catalyst that kind of started the shifting the momentum in our favor again. But I think today it's a very interesting. Let me pose this question up for you guys. What do you think of this role for Cucurella as of recently? And today, I think it was a very obvious role he had. He was an attacking 8, none of the inverting. What did you guys think of that in terms of the performance today? Do you think that's something that is only a result of Enzo missing? Or is that something that Maresca is asking of Cucurella to play whenever he's on the pitch?
He's been doing that for the last 5 games, bro.
Yeah.
He's been doing that since Brentford. It's been since Brentford.
That's why he scored the header goal a couple games ago.
He's been doing that since Brentford.
He's been doing that terrorism for a long while.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like, I've been listening. Again, I'm not gonna comment on the.
I'm gonna check the link.
The earlier topic about Garnacho, but just real quick on the Caicedo thing, I 100% agree with everything that was said. I'm agree with you, especially me personally. Like, I mean, I followed him his whole career. The only injury he's ever had is the one he had when he was a kid. It's a surgery on his knee, and you know the doctors always told him he's gonna have to be careful with that for the rest of his career. So that's why he wears a brace. That's why it hurts when he takes damage to it. And right now, obviously, like, we're not playing international football, but believe me, when he goes to South America, he's getting crunched, and we need to make sure that when he's able to, we're playing with fire. If we're doing like these type of games where he's doing an island in the midfield, he's on the receiving end of these tackles, and then he's gonna do that the day after he comes back from South America. Like, we're asking for him to be injured at that point. So I agree, we need a recall. Speaking on the Cucurella role, it's like, I don't know what to say, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. He's kind of becoming one of our more potent threats. Like, he can actually, the reason why, and it's frustrating because I see why Maresca is having him do this, because he doesn't have necessarily the height to get on the end of the ball all the time, but that brother can read across. Like, he
knows how to read across and crash into the box.
Thank you. Like, he sees the open space, and before the person even makes a cross, he's making the run into the open space, because he's like, okay, logically they're gonna send it into the open space, which is something our striker cannot do. Like, I don't know what to say, bro.
We'll talk about Jackson.
Fuck Jackson.
Yeah, hey, relax.
Oh, that's my opinion.
No, stay on topic, because you're gonna crash out. I already know.
Listen, man, we need to beat the Chelsea allegations. Let's stay on topic.
Nah, so for me personally, like, I think, like, I see why Marissa's asking him to do this, because at the very least, then you're giving the defense something to be aware of, right? Where if you are just crossing into people who are stationary in the box, there's no element of surprise. They know I just have to beat the man in front of me. When you have Cucurella doing these kind of ghost runs into the box because he smells the cross coming, or like that's what they've been practicing on the training ground, he's able to catch them off guard. He's able to, like, sneak in an extra person into the defense when they're not noticing and nobody's there. Like,
what the issue is?
It is what it is, because our striker can't do it. It is like
You know
it's
what? You know what the issue
frustrating.
is,
Wait,
man.
Arsam, sorry, one thing, because it's Ahmed, right? And I know he's changed his stance, but I'm petty like this. Would you say now he's getting the goals and the assists? Do you think he's good enough going forward now? Because he was complaining,
This okay.
enough.
I'm gonna be very honest with you, bro. I'm gonna give you the best answer that I can give you.
The best left back in the
All I
These
world.
got for you.
goals, yeah, are Fugazi goals. You know what I mean? They are, Bandulu goals. You know what I mean? These are, these script was picking up. These are called scrappy goals, man. You know what I mean? They're not cute. They're not ugly. Just shitty goals, mate. You know what I mean? This even today, yeah, he's so lucky he even scored, bro. The way he shot that ball, man. Yeah, that shows you Jose Sar's a trash goalkeeper. He needs to go to a relegation side anyway. But
He is in a relegation side. Where's he gonna go, brother?
He needs to get relegated, bro. I'll be honest, man. Listen, like if that didn't hit the post the right way, that's not going in. Let's be honest about the Cucurella goal.
No. For me personally, no, I get why he did it though, because you have to open up your body to take the shot. See, now you're doing a bit too much.
But let's be honest, man. Let's be honest though, yeah.
No, I agree. But
Let's be honest.
That's the type of player he is, bro. Does Cucurella seem to you like the
I'm
type of finesse?
I'm skipping your point. I get your point. I'm not gonna continue. But listen, the reality is, man, Theo Hernandez would have hit that top bins.
He needs, yeah, thank you.
You're
Cucurella
welcome.
is the best left back in the league. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Is there anybody really who can challenge him for best left back in the league?
Best
this
left
season?
back in the world. Best left back
That's
in
the
the
thing.
world.
He's not even playing left
Like-
back as of recently. That's the thing. Like
he's
today's match,
inverting
he was an
left back, 'cause-
attacking 8.
Well,
He didn't even
defensively,
invert
he is
today.
in-
He
No,
didn't
I'm saying
invert today.
defensively. No, I'm saying defensively, he gets into the
Yeah.
left back spot. So like in defensive duties, he's a left back. Obviously, offensively,
Yeah.
he plays a variety of roles. When he's not inverting, he's crashing the boxes and AE, etc., etc. Yeah.
This is the fall on Moises Caicedo's foot, by the
Bro,
way.
it's bad.
Like,
It looks worse in motion too.
If his foot was any more behind the knee, it probably would have been a bad injury. Like he probably would have hyperextended that, and it would have been really bad. So we
His
got
full body weight
really
fell
lucky.
right on top of his knee. It was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, no, it would have been really bad if that had injured him. So we got lucky there. But on Cucurella, like, that goal also reminded me today that we really need more experienced players in this side. Like we genuinely do, because like when you look at outside of Cucurella, Tosin, even if that, to be honest, outside of I'll be honest, outside of Reese, Cucurella, and Caicedo, after that goal that we scored, I don't see players on the pitch kind of just like trying to snap the players out of it and saying like, bro, get it together. And it took Cucurella stepping up and getting that goal, him being the experienced player, one of the experienced players in the team, to get the team up and running again. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, once we scored the goal, it looked like the first half again, where we were like, dominating possession, creating more chances, getting into the box a little more. Like even defensively, we were more solid. Like we weren't getting rattled and we weren't losing our heads. So it's like there's a big mentality issue in the team, and it baffles me because it's like, damn, dude, it's like this is part of the reason why the last 6 games we've not been able to, get a victory when we're supposed to, when the results are there. It's a lot of it's head loss. It's a lot of it's mentality, complacency to an extent, And for me, I think Cucurella being on that pitch, being the workhorse as he is, doing a shift. And this is what I said, like, this is the thing that I'm saying with the whole Nkuku thing, right? We're like, bro, I don't care if you're playing striker or if you're playing 10 or if you're playing left wing. If you're a good player, you put on a shift. Cucurella is a fucking left back, but he is playing as an attacking 8 because we don't have Enzo Fernandez. And what does he do? He puts on a shift. We need more players that can do that. We need
Shift
players
time.
like Caicedo that can do a shift. Look at Reece James. Bro was playing right center back
do
today.
a shift to a high level. That's the thing too.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying, Marshall, is you want roadrunners. Let's say how it is then. But you let
It's not a roadrunner.
That's
not at all.
What you saying?
You calling Essien a roadrunner?
Listen, when you say
Man just said
someone's putting in
Essien's a
shift,
roadrunner, bro.
Listen,
No,
when you say someone is putting in a shift, that means they're doing a lot of stuff.
That's because Gallagher broke your brain, bro.
There's a lot more. Yeah, Gallagher. You got Gallagher rot brain, bro. Because there's a lot more to putting a shift than just running. You need to make the tackles. You need to make the assists. You need to make the runs and all that stuff. This guy, bro. This guy.
Our first win in a while. He's already
doing the most for Gallagher here, man. But
he's killing me, bro.
But with Cucurella today, like I was happy what I saw. I was happy with the performance, man, and like I just hope he keeps it up. I don't want him to keep playing as an 8. Obviously, I'd rather that be Enzo because Enzo has the passing ability, right, and the scoring ability. But having Cucurella in there as another option, bro, it worked out today. And listen, it was getting scary at times, but I'm glad he got a goal. Now I want to go over to the other 8 that we had in KDH. I will say the first half, I thought he was having a pretty solid game. I was surprised that he was playing on the right-hand side and not the left-hand side. But as the game developed, I started to realize, like, oh, that's because Cucurella is playing the left-hand side, right? So he had one moment where in the first half where he gets a cross in and it gets blocked. It was going towards Neto. Maybe if Neto connects with it, it's a clear-cut chance. But overall today, I don't think he was. We go back to this. Not very involved. Didn't cost us the match, but he did get an assist today, that flick on, so big up to him for that. Outside of that, though, I don't think he was making much of an impact on the game. I think he just put in a shift and just kind of just was present. Another option to link up play, keeping the tempo going on his end. Is that outside of the perspective that you guys think in terms of his performance today?
Can I ask before we even give our opinions? What were we expecting KDH to give you?
A shift, bro. I think this is his best. I think this is his best.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just feel like for me,
his best, bro.
Yeah,
exactly. RSM's correct. That's because I just wanted him just be solid and do a job.
Yeah,
and that's what he did.
No, that's what I was expecting.
That's what pissed me off in the conference league because like he be showing up like we already 5-0 up.
He's putting in more of a shift than Marino is for Arsenal.
This is true.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. I literally this is what I like when I was watching the game. I'm like, bro, this is what I was asking. Like sometimes like get into the challenge on time. Like he was doing his defensive duties at times. In the offensive, he was like looking for Cole a bit. He was doing. You could tell that like he was trying, but in him trying as hard as he could, you started seeing like this is his technical ceiling. Like he's just the player that he is. That's it. There's nothing else to be extracted from him. He is just a shift player, and when he puts in a shift, he can put in a decent shift. But that's about it. You feel me? Like he's good against these sides like Wolves, like the teams that we should be beating. But for example, we go up against Man City, I will be looking to hopefully have Enzo Fernandez back in the team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, please.
Like I don't want to see KDH against this rejuvenated Man City. Me personally.
Yeah. No, I agree. I need someone that can take the game by the scruff of the neck, not just, be present and like I need you to be the difference maker from time to time, or at least try to be a difference maker, which again, I said what I said about KDH, but in reality, that's kind of what I was expecting, right? For him to just be there to link up the play and just not really be as impactful. It was there for him to prove me wrong. It was there for him to exceed the expectation, but it didn't happen today either. But hey, listen, when he was asked to show up and needed, he showed up and he was needed, and he did help with the assist, right? Maybe without that flick, maybe the ball lands in a different trajectory and Cucurella doesn't get the goal. So he was present when he needed to be present. I got to give him that. And hey, listen, I hope when he is being asked to put on a shift, he puts on a shift and exceeds expectations. That's all I can hope for. Because he's still a player of ours and he's not gone. So let's see what happens with that. But now we get into the fun stuff. We got to talk about the attack. Because today, let's be real. Goals came from Tosin. The goal came from Cucurella. Don't give Madueke. Don't give Madueke goal. Don't give Madueke. Technically, it is Madueke's goal, but it was Chalobah that it was heading it on target, and Obviously, he had his banter and said, yeah, he should be happy he got an assist and all that. It's all fun and games. That's great.
No,
but
to be fair though, I can't blame him because earlier in that game, I got pissed at him for not following the play on that Cole shot when Saw.
You saw it too, where he was wide.
When Saw being the ass keeper that he is, like Ahmed was saying, spilled the ball, and I'm like, why not follow
and you're
up
not
on that?
there.
Like,
you're not there for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can't be mad at him when he actually was. I can't do both.
I can't be mad at him for that. Obviously, better safe than sorry. But at the same time, and in that play specifically too, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, what if it's just Maresca telling me you need to hold the width, because whatever. I don't know. But I agree. If it were me, I would have been following up on that, like expecting a rebound of some sorts, a little closer at least, right? But okay, we'll start with Nani today. I think today, how do I word this? Today, he was one of the wingers that kept trying and persisting, and eventually was able to pull off one or two crosses here or take-ons and successful dribbles, which, fine. But what frustrated me about Nani's performance today is, my dude, if you are seeing this game, if you are involved in this game, and you're seeing that the referee is not giving you the first foul, the second foul, the third foul, brother, this is a physical match. Get the fuck up, man the fuck up, and stop playing for the foul. Because multiple times today in his game, rather than standing up, trying to take on his man and trying to maintain possession, he loses the ball because he gets fouled or bullied off of it. Because let's be honest, today, Madueke was bullied today. It was a physical match, and every time it cost him possession. He lost the ball. And then that gives Wolves a chance to catch us in transition. So for me, that was what was frustrating with Nani. Yeah, from time to time, he did beat his man. From time to time, he was able to get a cross in. He is the reason we get that second goal, right? His cross, it comes from his cross. And today, obviously, the strategy seemed to be cross into the box, even though we don't have a goal scoring, a header dominant, aerially dominant striker, right? Which is why it's baffling to me, but whatever. But the performance today from Nani was very frustrating. The man was just being bullied off that pitch, and I'm surprised he even stayed as long as he stayed on. But what do you guys think?
Ahmed, do you want to go first, or you want me to crash out on him?
I mean, I don't really feel like there's anything to even crash out over. Like,
he was
been like this. The reason why I'm saying that is because he's been playing this way for like the last 4 or 5 games. So like, and I don't even think. I think the issue with I don't think the issue this game was about even being bullied. The issue was he wasn't willing to be direct. Like, he kept on spamming the crosses basically, and the problem is, you can spam those crosses when you've got a striker that's tall enough for you to do that job for you, right? But the problem is, he wasn't willing to go 1v1, and then he kept spamming crosses into the box when there's no one there to.
I'm not blaming him for spamming the crosses, because that was clearly a tactical thing. Neto was doing the same thing on the other end.
I have to say this tactical thing about spamming crosses is stupid, because the problem is, we don't have a number 9 to get onto the head of it.
I know. That's why it's confusing.
And so for me, fundamentally, this is where for me the issue becomes, why are we doing something which we
don't worry, we'll get on Neto too.
Well,
don't worry.
That's how the Cucurella goal happened, right? That's how the
but he would do it basically, when essentially there was only one person in the box, which was our number 9, right? If there was other cases, that's something like that, because him and Neto were doing that consistently, where they would put the ball in the box for Jackson, but it's like, we know this guy can't hit the ball properly. He's done it once or twice, but that's when he's a free man. But I think for me the problem is, like, it's clear that he doesn't want to start taking on his man as effectively if he doesn't win the draw once or twice. So and I think ever since he's learned this new package of the inside the foot cross now, he started to become too reliant on that one, bro. I'll be honest. When Salah, like how Salah sometimes, right? Salah, if you look at the way Salah plays, right, he's kind of has he's relying on 2 moves, right? But cut inside and shoot, right, is one of them with Salah. And then the other one is always that ball that Jackson that Madueke does, which is the in-swinger that he does really well. And I think that's part of the issue. Like, Jackson's not willing to use the third aspect of his game, which is being direct. That's the problem with him.
I think, and we'll get on Jackson because there's so many things that Jackson did today that I was not a fan of, and he had a howler of a performance, in my opinion, and you can tell why, and it's affecting everyone else's game, right? But in terms of like Nani, I want to emphasize this. I'm not blaming Nani Madueke for the amount of times he was trying to cross the ball into the box.
No, that's me complaining, bro. I know what you mean.
I know, but I don't think it's his choice. Right? Like, obviously it's his choice because he can do it on the pitch and he can choose not to, right? But I think the tactic today, and this will transition me into Neto, I think the tactic today was clear. Cross the ball into the box. Jackson may not be able to header it, but you have Cucurella that's always going to try to find that and crash into the box, which he was always there for every cross. And RSM said it. Cucurella has a knack for being able to read the cross and find his way into the box to try to get the end of it. And we did that
to win.
Exactly, but he has the jump, he has the aerial ability, and to an extent too, KDH was there for those crosses too. I don't think KDH connected with very many of them, but he was there for those crosses. And Neto would come inside and try to be there for the rebound or at the far post. And so, for me, it seemed more of a tactical thing, but it doesn't make sense. But when you look at the Cucurella aspect of it, it makes a little bit more sense why you're trying to do that. It was the same exact strategy we took. What was the other game that was it Everton, where we had Cucurella in the box, Nani crosses it and he scores. What was that game, bro?
Which one are you talking about?
The one that happened recently, where Cucurella scored a goal from a Nani cross as well. Here, I'll find it really quick. Let me just get current season.
In the league?
I think it was in the league.
It was Brentford.
Yes. Was it Brentford?
It was Brentford.
That just happened recently, right?
It was Brentford. Yeah, it was the last game that we won before this one. That's why I remember it.
Okay.
That was the 1-0 before halftime,
Yeah.
and then second half we got the
Yeah. So it was Brentford. That was last month, bro. That was crazy. So that was last month. So again, I think the strategy is when you have that extra body into the box, cross it in, because you never know what could happen. Because at some points too, Wolves were playing a low block, and that's why a lot of the crosses were being blocked. That's why, despite what we see from Madueke usually trying to beat the man, that's why he wasn't beating the man. On top of it, bro, he was getting bullied, bro. He was constantly on the ground. Like, they obviously looked at how we played them last match, and they were like, yo, this ain't gonna happen again. This ain't gonna fly like it did the last match. Now, on the opposite end, listen, you can say all you want about Neto. I think Neto was all right today. I think Neto, for me, gets the same exact rating as Madueke in terms of he was trying to get into the left. He would cut inside and he would constantly cross it. And he would just put the ball into the dangerous area rather than targeting a striker or targeting a man, because we don't have that profile in the attack. It was just get it into the box, maybe KDH, Cucurella, or Jackson get at the end of it. And he was putting in good crosses. It's just no one was getting at the end of it. So there was that one play that frustrated me about Neto, where he was like cut inside and he was dribbling, and he dribbled past three players and he lost it in the fourth. It was like, bro, let go of the ball. But other than that, like, I can't really complain much on Neto. I'm not scapegoating either or. I think both of them were just average. And at some point or another, either one of them were going to get some type of assist from across in the box. I mean, Curry, what do you think of that, bro?
No, I agree with you. I think everyone crashing it on either or person more than the other is being disingenuous.
Yeah, they were both okay, Fly.
Like, I'm literally looking at the stats comparisons. Both attempted 7 crosses for Madueke, 6 for Neto, 1 each was completed. Their passing accuracy is very similar. The dribble attempts, and it had 0 dribble attempts. Nani had 3, but succeeded once. But he lost the ball. Madueke lost the ball 20 times compared to Neto 12, right? But 20 less minutes. Sure, like, Nani got a goal. You could say that, but also he played 20 minutes more. So I can't say much on it. They were equally not good.
Yeah, no,
That's the issue. They were
I
equally
think
not taking their man. They're
Mhm.
equally crossing to no one. They were equally not taking their shots properly.
And I emphasize this that I think both of them today were just bang average, like keeping it 100% real. Like I think both players today were just bang average. And again, I emphasize like maybe it's because of the tactic. Maybe it's because the plan was to just keep crossing into the box. Eventually, something will bang, and we can go from there. But I mean, speaking on that as well, I figured I'm gonna try to bring up the Nani goal, just so we can look at that real quick, kind of dissect that. And I can't play it at full speed, people, because I already got a little bit of a copyright strike last time I did this because I got a little loosey goosey with it. So let me put it up on the screen. So it's a foul at the corner, right, from whoever. Palmer takes the cross, and it comes into the box like this. We're seeing Nani right here, Chalobah over here, and as the cross lands, Chalobah, very good aerial ability, good heading ability as well. He gets it on target, and Nani is just there to make sure it goes in, finishes it off. It's Trevoh Chalobah's goal, really.
Is he
but
really making
Nani-
sure it's going in? Man, literally is from 2 inches away, just heading it in.
But here's the thing, and you know what? This is gonna lead me to my next thing before we talk about Cole Palmer. Is, bro, today, from Jackson to Nani, you can tell that our attack were desperate. They were desperate to get anything going. Like, prime example was Jackson today.
Yep.
Dude was doing everything he could, everything in his abilities, and cheating in any way he could to try to get a goal. Like the offside goal he scored. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yep.
I don't know if it was just me, but immediately, as soon as he got that ball, I was saying he's offside. He's offside. Like I knew.
He didn't.
But-
He doesn't check his line.
I don't think it's that though. I think for him, he is so desperate to get a goal that he's like all game today. There was times where he was making runs and I'm like, okay, I don't think that's a good run you're making, Jackson. You kind of just expected to go a threaded ball through the back four and you'll run in behind. You want to get a run in behind goal. And he wasn't involved. But constantly in today's game, he was there on the line with the back four, constantly towing the line or edging, between offside and not. And he's trying to cheat it because he wants to get any little advantage he can get to try to get a goal. Like, to me, it just smelled of disparity. Like, man was really desperate for a goal. He really wants a goal. And I get it, but at the same time, it's taking him away from, bro, the other aspects of the game that are good about you, Jackson, it's not just about your goal scoring. Your goal will come eventually. But bro, like, don't sacrifice you getting a goal for the rest of the team and the performance. And I think today he was doing that, which is why we saw a shitty performance from Jackson.
I would have to disagree with that take, actually. I think a big problem with Nicholas Jackson is that I think his role has changed at Chelsea. I think that's something that I think we as fans haven't realized. I think as a lot more. I think the last game yesterday, and then where he does the the playmaking and stuff like that, I don't think he's required to do that anymore. I genuinely don't believe that. That aspect of the game is not required from him as much as I think many others believe of him anymore. Because like, if you looked at a lot more early in the season, and even in the Brentford game even in the last few games, right? There's been a lot of the time where all we ask him to be is the guy that's gonna be the getting behind guy. That's what we're literally asking him from now. And I think that's completely changed his game. And I think it kind of actually makes him just become primarily a goal scorer. And that actually hurts him as a player. I'll be genuinely honest for me personally, because he can't do his other aspects of the game. But the thing is, whether we like it or not, primarily as a striker, your duty is to score. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter where it is. You know what I mean? There needs to be some level of greed as a striker. And I think when you look at some of the chances that he's missed, like even that last chance we just saw right there, bro, that has to be going in
instead of his left, bro.
has to be. It doesn't, bro. I will actually disagree. It shouldn't matter if it's left or right. It should just be on target, bro.
I agree. I agree on target stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean, bro.
But the thing is, he missed it because he waited so long to get it on his right. Like
even today with the touch early in the first half where he beats the defender, right? Like he wins the ball back through a tackle. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper, right? Or he's at least approaching. He's starting a counterattack, right? And then he takes that silly final touch that overshoots it, and then the goalkeeper just picks it up.
What it shows to me, bro, yeah, I'll be honest with you, Marshall, is that, you know, this is a guy that does not like to use his other foot, which is his left, right? Listen, I saw this IRL in the few games I've been to this season and the previous season. He does not like to use his left at all, right? And I think as a striker, particularly in the situation you got to be in, you've got to at least trust on some level your weak foot to do the job, bro. Like for a tap in, your weak foot should be able to do that, bro. From the distance he's at, bro, you should be able to generate that target with the power necessary in that position, bro. Because that's like a striker's bread and butter. I'm pretty sure all of us here would agree, like the position he was in, right? So I think for me, the problem right now of Jackson is that you can clearly tell, yes, it may be like a little rot period, but at the same time, he's losing himself right now. And we are not helping the situation by continuously playing this brother week in, week out. But we ourselves have then committed our own sin in the sense that we were not able to bring in someone, right, to be able to compete with him or be just as good as him in that position as well, right? So you've essentially put too much pressure on him. He's faltering. Yeah, he's faltering under the pressure, and we don't have a guy to replace him to help him with that, bro. Because like right now, bro, respectfully, he's on the Titanic and he's drowning, bro. You know what I mean? He's on the lower decks, just drowning, bro. Drowning away. No way in sight.
It's one of those things where I've always said, like, the thing with young players is they're always going to be inconsistent. And sometimes the best thing you could do is, you know, put them on the bench and let them mentally reset, let them get a reset, let them feel the pressure off of their back for a bit, and let the team handle it. I agree with what you're saying. I guess that's why I said it's twofold. Jackson is failing us, right, with the chances that he's in the games that he's costing us. But we also, and I'm speaking for the club, right, have failed him in not getting him somebody, not even like a lateral replacement. Not even saying better, just somebody laterally who would come in and go and at least be able to sub in for him. Because for me personally, like it's like you see this race car on the racetrack, it blew a tire, and you're like, maybe if we let it go another lap, the tire will come back. Brother, we need to do a pit stop. We need to do maintenance. We need to replace the tire. We need to address what's wrong. We need to give it time to reset. That's
Yokohama, baby.
Like they need to do something, man. And just continuing to play him through his bad form is going to do more harm in the long term than it is going to do good.
Which is why, like, I respect Jackson for how he's been handling the situation, at least in the beginning of the season, right? But now it's getting to a point, and Ahmed said this in a previous stream, pressure makes diamonds, but sometimes pressure just kills people, right?
Pressure. Listen, there's two different types of pressure. When you put pressure on coal, it either becomes diamonds or it becomes just more broken pieces of coal.
Yeah.
Origination sayings 101.
But in terms of Jackson, and this is where I was getting at today, Ahmed RSM, don't know if you saw it this way. Today, the striker I saw was a desperate one. He was desperate to get a goal or get an edge by any means necessary. We all knew he was clearly offside, but he was borderline on that line the whole game, which is why he barely got any service. Because, like, man was offside half the time.
Well, he couldn't do the hold-up play today. He couldn't. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, but this is where I disagree with Ahmed, right? I personally don't think it's the system changing him. I think today's game was more so him and his own decision to be like, I really need a goal. I'm gonna stand right here with the defenders, and I'm gonna play in behind. I'm gonna make a run for it. Because to be fair as well, with the center backs that we had, Reese, Tosin, Chalobah, they were pinging balls in behind the defender the whole game. Just that none of them were going to Jackson. They were all going to the wings. Neto kept getting receiving balls. Neto kept receiving long passes from the center backs. Madueke kept receiving long passes from the center backs. And I don't think at any point in this game, maybe at one point, did Cole Palmer link up with Jackson. In fact, we barely used our middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
The only time we were using the middle of the pitch was to switch to the other wing. Really, the whole time we were just switching from one wing to the other. Really, all it was. And I think part of it's also Enzo not being available, which Enzo can give you that ping pass. Enzo can find you when you're making that runs. You know, it gets put under the radar a lot for this team, but you can notice that when Enzo's not there, maybe that drops down the creativity a little bit overall. But for me, I think for next match, and I agree, RSM said it, it's not fair for Jackson to be in a situation. He shouldn't be in a situation. There should be another striker there that we can sub on and be like, yo, take some time off the limelight. We're going to sub you on, and then there you can re-earn your spot in the first place team. But right now, we need goals, and you're not performing, and it's getting to your head. Take a break, but we can't do that because we don't have another striker that we can rely on to give him that break. And Kunku's not stepped up. Marguiu is too young, in my opinion. And it's like, it's a weird situation. Now, go ahead before we talk about Palmer.
I was just gonna say, man, stuff has got to change because right now, bro, because like whether we like to admit or not, bro, if he starts next game against City, bro, with this level of confidence, bro, but I'll be honest, man, on some level, you gotta admit it, bro, we're kind of cooked.
It's not on some level. It's like if our striker isn't scoring, bro, it's bad, especially with the way this team is set up, bro. It's bad.
Yeah. It's very bad, bro. And like listen, man, I know obviously the Vlahovic links got deaded by Fabrizio, but like listen, man, I'm just praying something else happens because we need something else to happen, bro.
Yes. We need another look in, bro.
So
like, I even said I wouldn't even care if it's a 6-month loan, bro, but we need something, man.
That's something for 6 months. Again, you know,
that's why I said Kolo Muani, but people wanted to crash out on me for that.
No, but the problem with Kolo Muani, bro, he's too similar.
Bro, we're desperate.
No,
we need
but
something.
The difference is, we can be desperate, but we can also realize Kolo Muani is having an all-time stinker.
It's a low. It's a loan.
No, but Marshall, I don't think you realize,
bro. It's more the same.
It's very similar to Jackson, and the problem is he's coming off a PhD side where he missed a tap-in. Right, literally, that's recently.
That's fine, but let's not forget.
It's been happening. Wait, let me finish the context. On a consistent basis, where he's missing open nets, missing tap-ins, missing all the simple shots, bro. He is literally. If you're talking about Jackson's confidence, that guy's confidence, bro, is at an all-time low. That's the difference. That's why. That's why for me, if you had said any other, even like. I hate to use this example. I saw Darwin Núñez links as well from like S.A. Phillips. I could take a Darwin Núñez because I think he would create enough chaos that even if he doesn't get the shot, the rebound will at least go to a Palmer or like one of our wingers, bro. You know what I mean? But with a guy like Muani, he has been so poor on the ball, off the ball. Everything, bro. He had, bro. Muani is that bad, bro. No, Muani, bro. You have.
No. I need to stop this. Hold up. No. We need to logically break this down now. Hold on. Because this is where I get at, like, Ahmed. Oh my God, bro. This is like where you, bro. Wrong. Good messenger. Wrong message. Listen, when it comes to. There's these. Oh my God, Ahmed, you actually rattled me with that. There's two different scenarios when you're talking about Darwin Núñez and Kolo Muani. I don't know why the fuck you said Darwin Núñez, but Darwin Núñez came from a Benfica side. I believe it was Benfica, right? Came from a Benfica side. Played under Klopp. Didn't work under Klopp. Switch manager, switch system. Still doesn't work on the Arne Slot. Colomboani comes from a Monaco side where he was highly rated. I believe you even spoke highly of him to a certain extent, but you had questions.
From what side again?
He said, "What's I was about
Monaco?
to say."
Wasn't it
He
Monaco?
came from Eintracht Frankfurt, bro.
All right,
if you're
Frankfurt.
the people,
It doesn't matter. My point is
Wait,
still
wait, wait.
there. He comes from Frankfurt, right? He goes into the Luis Enrique side that doesn't prefer wingers, and it doesn't work out for him. But now all of a sudden, we want to say he's shit. Before, in a different system, under a different manager, it worked out perfectly. So this is why I'm saying, this is why I'm saying, like, it's, hold on, no. Bridge Nation needs to stop building bridges. That's what Bridge Nation needs to do right now. So calm the fuck down. What I'm trying to tell you with Colomboani, as much as he looks like a shit player right now, just like Kylian Mbappe looked like a shit player under fucking Carlo Ancelotti, who's to say it could turn around? But I'm not even saying it could turn around. I'm just saying, what if the issue is the manager? And also, it's a loan. If it was a permanent, I agree with you. I don't want Colomboani in a permanent. But a loan for 6 months doesn't hurt us.
Okay.
No,
RSM,
I need to bridge the gap now because both.
No, let RSM go because you built a bridge and RSM is either trying to finish it or burn it.
Both of you are just wrong. That's the answer here. Both of you are wrong. Congrats. It's like saying like, oh no, because both of you are like, no, but we need somebody in. Oh, let me tell you something. If I'm starving and somebody says all I have for you is the shit that I have, like I just took a dump in my hands, you can eat it. I need to have some self-respect as a human being. I'm gonna die starving. I'm gonna be so real with you. At some point, you just have to say no, right? Like I just need even that's what I'm saying, even a side grade to Jackson. That means I'm not accepting anything worse than Jackson. And I'm so sorry, Colomboani. At this moment in time, I'm not doing the Havertz thing, bro. I'm telling you, it's the Havertz thing where people are like, no, we're gonna get back the level, bro. It's not happening. Give it up, big man. He has grown into the player that he is. It's not happening in a different system and a different coach. And it's the same thing with Darwin Nunez, bro. He is who he is. He's not doing anything different under a different coach, under a different system. He just needs to be in an easier league.
He is who he is, right? If you want to believe that, that's fine. That's okay. But there's a difference between breadcrumbs and shit. We're not linked to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We're linked to Colomboani, who is okay, just like Havertz is okay.
That's not true though. But that's not true, Marshall. Because if you literally, I would ask you, please look at his stats right now, Colomboani, and look at his. But
you know I'm not coming from that angle.
No, yeah,
I'm not.
But the point I'm trying to make, Marshall, is you're saying he's okay. The problem is he's not been even the Havertz okay. He's been really, really, really bad. And the problem is, yeah, you're talking about how him being a winger. This guy was a striker at Eintracht Frankfurt, bro. Hooping, okay? He came to PSG. At PSG, his job is even more easier under Luis Enrique. Because Luis Enrique wants his striker to tap the ball into the back of the net, bro. He's doing, the whole team is there for you to create pass, so that when it comes to the striker, we tap in. He's not even doing that, Marshall. And you're expecting this guy to head the ball, do stuff like that. He can't even do that in Luis Enrique's system. What makes you think under Maresca it's gonna change, bro? I get you're saying it's a loan, we can take a chance. That's fair enough. But the problem for me is that Luis Enrique, but the problem is Colomboani, bro. You talk about DCL, bro, level of confidence and like how bad he is. I think he's at that level right now in terms of just confidence and the way he's playing anyway.
Can you tell me why Colomboani was good at Frankfurt?
I would say, the Bundesliga attack was quite heavy because of the fact that he was very good with his pace, right? And he was able to really get him behind. That was the thing for him more than anything else. That's what really helped him out more than anything else. I think of it, I know that thing you was talking about him being a team winner. I think Colomboani is a good example of that, actually, in terms of like his pace, right, was the thing that helped him out the most. And that's not something I think we lack in this team.
I mean, I'd argue that's what the ownership seems to think, because all these guys are replacing Timo. Yeah, not replacing Timo, I'm sorry. All these guys are replacing Mudryk. Mudryk, right? Like, these all seem to be similar profiles, running behind.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. In terms of Colomboani, though, like, if it happened again at PSG with a different manager, then I totally agree with you. Sometimes I think, like, It's just he got the shit end of the stick. He happens to have a manager at the helm that doesn't benefit the way he wants to play his ball, and it could be something like that. And for me, I'm not opposed to a loan because we don't really lose. You said it, and you even said fair enough. You don't lose anything out with the loan. You pay the wages for half a season, see how it works out. You don't commit to an obligation, and then he just goes back to PSG. But one thing that he can at least do at the bare minimum is he plays a game. Jackson's like, what the fuck, dude? This guy's benching me? And that gives Jackson at least it even takes away the pressure from Jackson because Colomani is so shit. This guy benched Jackson. And Jackson comes in and is like, no, I need to come here and make a difference. At least rest Jackson, because as a result of not resting Jackson and playing him over and over and over again, fatigue could also play a factor. We saw how it's played a factor with Enzo not being available in this game. We saw how it played a factor with Levi Cole not being available in this game. You know, even Moises Caicedo today, like he's running on fumes, and so is Cole Palmer. Go ahead.
It's not even about we're talking about scouting departments, Chelsea. There was a striker that we faced today that I think, I think our CBs did an alright job against him, but you could clearly see. No. He was causing a lot of havoc for our centre back, causing a lot of havoc for our centre backs.
Not really.
I would actually argue.
Pretty quiet.
No, but I think the problem was our centre backs. I think were actually just man marking him consistently doing just
what they need to do,
right, which they needed to do because of because of the type of players, the type of striker it is. He's actually been having even though the Wolves team in general have been bad, him and Cunha have been the real bright spots in terms of everything like that. And then I look at that and I'm thinking, why did we not get this guy? Because you could have got him for the same price range as Nicholas Jackson. You know what I mean? You could even have targeted him, in my personal opinion, this January. He provides to you everything that Jackson is not giving you. He's a bit more ahead in terms of terms of what was it? What you could say? What's the word I'm looking for? Progression, stuff that he can do in general. In my personal opinion, why have we not even tried to bring that sort of guy in? Because that's a guy that I look at and say, if you're bringing Delap, why not just bring in this guy instead?
I don't know. I mean, his performance today wasn't that great. Obviously, not something to talk about. Shots on target 2, 16 touches. Like, he wasn't that involved. I mean, obviously it's a different profile, sure, but this is where I go back to what we were talking about in the beginning, right? With the whole Garnacho shit. For me, maybe one perspective of it could be the fact that they're just inquiring and looking at what is the price of this guy? What is the price of that guy? This is a different profile. Let's do our research, gather information, gather the stats, and then in the summer, we'll see what best fits from Maresca. We'll analyze the whole season. We'll see the deficiencies. We'll see what stats are low and try to bolster those stats and so on and so forth. This is just like me putting the shoe on the other foot and seeing like, why is it that, for example, what you're saying, why aren't we linked to a Strad Larson? It's very possible we are, but we just don't know about it yet. It's analyzing what's out in the market, because let's be real, the market right now for a striker and a goal scoring left winger are not great, are not good at all. So we kind of like, rather than, and this is why, again, I go back to the Colomani thing. It's not a permanent. As a loan option, I don't mind it because it's a placeholder for what could potentially be a permanent option. I don't want to desperately buy a player in January that we are now stuck on, or we're doing favors for other teams with the whole PSR thing with KDH and stuff, and Omari Kellyman and so on and so forth. I don't want to be stuck with a player that, I bought him on a whim because I was desperate for a striker, or desperate or something, and now he's shit, and I'm stuck with him for 7 years, 8 years, because we know it's prison contracts here at CFC.
Death row, baby.
Death row or death, really. Just death either way.
Consecutive life sentences, bro.
No bailout, nothing.
No, bro. Did you see that photo, by the way, of like the longest contract links in the Prem? Like number 1 is Holland, and everything else is all Chelsea players. Yeah, I could imagine. I haven't seen it, but that list is probably like, holy fuck, dude. It's probably like one other player that's like an Arsenal player, but other than that, it's all Chelsea.
I don't think for me we can keep on saying maybe they're inquiring about everyone. The reality is, in this day and age in football, we know who we're going after, bro. Like, let's not get it twisted.
I don't know about that.
I think obviously there's the rare instances. Obviously with us, one of them I'll probably say has just been really the recent one that comes to mind is really just Neto. But other than that, realistically,
no, João Felix was a curveball as well.
No, because we literally the reason why he wasn't a curveball was because we literally already medical happened, and then we disintegrated the deal, and then we came back in, and literally
it was a curveball. It happened within a week, Ahmed.
No, but we lost Omridion
and Lavia as well.
No, Omridion, Lavia we were always linked with, but it was always the fact of he's probably gonna go to Liverpool because we were targeting Caicedo as our first primary option, bro.
Yes,
that was literally it. Again, with João Felix was not a curveball because obviously Meridian fell through, and then we went back to Teco and like we want another player, and we chose João Felix. That literally was happening in real time, was getting reported in real time too.
RSM, was João Felix a curveball or not?
It's like, is it a curveball in the sense? I think the sporting directors always wanted João Felix. I'm be with you. It was like Poch that said no, and I think also Maresca necessarily didn't ask for him. I think he would have preferred Samu. So I think in terms of what the original plan was, I think the original plan was to get another striker or like a profile similar to Jackson, and a profile different to Jackson, Samu, right? Who's more in the box and he plays primarily in the box. That fell through. And so the original plan was still, okay, we need to offload Gallagher, right? We need to offload Gallagher, period. And they're like, okay, the sporting directors like, we always like João Felix. So it is a bit yes and a bit no, because I do think that like they didn't go into Atletico Madrid wanting João Felix. However, they did want João Felix, and we knew that. We got reports, that Poch was the one who said no to buying him when the loan ended. He said, I don't want him in this team. But it was the sporting directors who like wanted to pressure him to say yes to João Felix. So like, for the sporting directors, no, it really wasn't like that was the plan. But I think in terms of what the summer plan was for that window, yeah, like we just wanted to offload Gallagher for Samu because we wanted that profile. We needed that profile of striker. So
yeah, I think when you look, I think you need to give a little bit more credit to the directors in terms of keeping things under wraps. Yeah, like Caicedo was a big move. Enzo Fernandez was a big move. Yeah, it was on the surface. It was being reported about constantly. But although me and you, Ahmed, knew about the Lavia links, right? And RSM, you probably knew about it too. It was there prior, but from our perspective, from the journal's perspective, from the viewer's perspective, the consumer, right? It was very much like, oh, okay, I guess we kind of gave up on that and nothing's going to come of it. And then eventually it came full circle and we were still in talks. Like, there's still a lot of negotiations and deals happening under wraps. And that's why, like, Mateus Tell, that was out of left field. No one expected Mateus Tell. There was no journalists reporting about
No, I get that. That's fair. But the point I'm trying to make though is that we literally found out about the Tell inquiry the moment we made it, bro, and the moment they were interested in Kunku. That pretty much
that's what you think, though. That's what you think, and a lot of other people think. It's not true.
No. Literally, bro, the report said Chelsea inquired about Mateus Tell today, and they were literally speaking also about the fact that they're trying to speak to his agent to try to get the green light from him. And then there was also breaking news in regards to the Christopher Nkunku deal happening at the same time. Sometimes I get deals take longer, like 1 or 2 months. I go back to the Neto deal, which was taking a long while. We inquired, we then started to negotiate. It was all under wraps, it was all hidden in plain sight, right? But this deal in particular that we're talking about, right, which was the Tell one, that literally happened bang straight away. It literally happened straight away, and we found out about that pretty much within the same day. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's obviously not everything's going to be reported that's happening right now. Does that make sense? I get your point. At least it's a good example of that, by the way, of what you're saying.
No, but what I'm trying to get at, the overall message, and I think you understand this, is that our ownership, Chelsea in general, will leak out information that they want us to see when they want us to see it. And as far as I'm aware, and as far as I understand too, when Stanley had an interest in Tell for a while, and it only is just coming out and manifesting in news. There's been Alphonso Davies' interest. There's been Jonathan Davey interest and all this and that, right? Like, there are links out there that I think it's one of those, like, they will leak out the links and stuff as when they want to, and what you as a consumer know is a decision made by Chelsea. I think when they really want things to be under wraps, they will keep things under wraps. So I won't be surprised if maybe in the summer there is a link for a striker that none of us saw coming. Because right now, I think all of us are saying, and you alluded to this, which is what started this conversation, we all know what the striker target is going to be. And as of right now, it looks like the favorite is Liam Delap. Am I wrong?
Nope.
Yes.
Liam Delap looks like the favorite one. It could happen. It could actually be just Liam Delap because it makes sense, right? Joe Shields, Man City links and all that. It could very much be another profile that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. Even today, like when you look at how, and this is why like this winter window kind of made me take more of a back seat in terms of like, let's just see what happens at the end of the window, because you can see like journalists, the window is slow. No one's been making any moves. Other than Man City, no one's been making any moves. Arsenal were linked with Zubamendi. What's happened with that? Nothing, right?
Yep.
It was clicks with with Liverpool. Nothing's happening with that on that front. They've been quiet as shit.
United
Tottenham
too, bro. Everybody's like, oh, United, they gotta get in some players.
Manu, all this
Nothing, bro.
quiet.
Nothing.
No one's been making any moves. So for me, that tells me these journalists are actually desperate to get clicks, to get something to go. So they're gonna put out whatever they want. That's why the Garnacho thing, like, as serious as it may seem, because it's Ornstein saying this and Matt Law saying this and Fabrizio. Bro, Fabrizio hasn't had the best track record recently. Ornstein is the one that I've kind of been more lenient on lately. But at the end of the day, I'm going to just take a step back and just chill and see what happens. Because right now, it's just inquiry, research, information. I think the moves are really going to happen in summer. And if Garnacho does happen, I'll be pissed. But that's besides the point. Point being, something could be happening in the shadows that we don't know about. Hopefully it is, because we need another profile.
So basically,
that
you're
is
saying
going to help Jackson out.
So basically, you're just saying another 18-year-old has happened in the shadows. That you're just saying, just like,
100%.
Probably.
That's basically what you're saying. So
No, probably.
Let's
probably.
keep it pushing, man. Let's just keep it
Yeah,
pushing.
probably. Let's like if we gotta be real, like it's probably gonna be another youth signing. Like I'll
thing
be
is,
so
like,
real.
I
So save yourself
really-
from disappointing people. Like I'm just saying right now.
The thing that would make me that thing that I really want is bring back Leslie, bro. I'm gonna be so honest.
Yeah, but no.
Like, that's
RSM, that's where I'm at
you
too.
already brought back Chalobah, bro.
Yeah.
Like bring back Leslie. I'm gonna be so real. Southampton already prepared for it. They already recalled a lone midfielder because they're preparing for it anyways. So just bring him back. We need him. We need it badly. But we don't have Lavi, we don't have Enzo. So what is that midfield even going to be? You're not gonna play Viega. What is the midfield gonna be in the Conference League even? Let's be honest. So at that point, bro, bring him back. I'm gonna be so serious. Bring him back.
But that's why I said I don't know if you were listening when I said this or you were just touching grass. But literally, I said earlier, in terms of this window, what I would want is get me a center back and a midfielder, even if it's a recall. Yeah, it's shameless and it's actually embarrassing that we have to recall Trevoh Chalobah, but I don't give a fuck, dude. That's the owner's problem, or that's the recruitment's problem. You shouldn't have even banished him to begin with. And we all know it was his decision, and Maresca's just a talking head for them, right? So they called him back. He had a good performance. If he keeps this up, bro, awesome. That's fantastic. I want the best for Chelsea. So if that means Chalobah's getting man of the match awards every single game from this point going forward, perfect.
Yep.
Keep it up, right? Now, for me to be okay with this window and to understand it a lot more, just bring me back Leslie Ugochukwu. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not trying to... Yeah, bring back Leslie, because maybe you don't want to interrupt Santos' loan. That's fine. But either or. You have two options there. Bring it back. I'm going to give you until the end of the window, and I'm not going to crash out at you until the end of the window,
bring him
because...
back on the last day, bro. It doesn't matter. Like,
as long as you bring him back. As long as you bring him back, because maybe you're just scouting out your options and seeing what's out there. And maybe you can bring in another player that you think is better. I doubt it, but you're just feeling out the options, and then you'll decide at the end of the window. But if you bring him back... Cool. I'm okay with it. Let's see out the rest of the season, because I know you're not going to sign a striker in the January window. I know you're not going to sign a center back in the January window. I know you're not going to sign a brand new spanking midfielder or a left winger in the January window.
But we did sign a centre back this window.
He's
He was a
gonna,
youth signing,
he's,
right?
He's gonna do the no. That was a summer signing, first of all, bro. So don't even.
Summer signing, man. The Matt of Mystery Centre-back got signed. Mamadou Sarr, man, from Strasbourg got signed.
Oh, Strasbourg. Is that happening in summer or is that happening this window?
Well, we signed him for this window, but we sent him back
done.
on loan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we sent him back on loan. Okay. And that's why we recalled, what's his face? The American left back.
Yes.
Caleb Wiley.
Yeah. See?
Bro, it is what it is.
Like, man, no. We can't
it is
give.
what it is.
I just think for me, yeah, the only thing I just can't accept here on a moral and personal level.
But you know already. You know what to expect. That's why I'm not even upset about it.
But like, listen, there's a difference between expectations and then what you want, bro. You know, there's expectations and then there's reality, right? The reality, I already know the reality is already accepted, but they're not meeting the expectations that is required of them, bro. That's the problem I'm having right now.
What's the expectations?
Marshall, what's the expectations of Chelsea?
This season, the expectation is win the Conference League and get top 4.
No. I'm just talking about in general, though. What is our expectations, bro?
To build a team that can challenge for the Premier League next season?
Okay. Listen, Chelsea expectation is always to go and win the league, right? Now, that's the overall objective. Obviously, we didn't have like stuff that we need to hit. We have to have checkpoints, you know, like in a game to get there, right? The problem is, I feel like we're working every time to get to these places, bro. Like, you know, like it's like what's the word I'm looking for? Like we're almost like it's taking Herculean efforts. You know what I mean? We have to be producing miracles, bro. Like just to get to each checkpoint, man. It's like it's taking us like the minimum objective to like somehow by a Herculean effort to get there. How are we gonna get to the even bigger mine? You know.
But that's why, like, Ahmed, that's why, like, you said it there. That's what keeps me calm about the situation, is because like I'm understanding of the situation we're in. We're building a project, and I'm understanding that this stuff is gonna take times, and there's certain benchmarks you need to hit at certain times. So for me, and listen, this isn't, oh, you're dropping your standards, Marshall. This isn't Chelsea, all this and that. No, this is me being realistic and giving benchmarks and checkpoints to hit before we get to the next stage. For me, and I said this from the beginning, I'm going to give it 3 seasons, see what happens. And by the 3rd season, if your objective is build a spine, get back to top 4 and winning a trophy, then let's see what happens. As of right now, we're still in 2 competitions. If you want to be deluded enough and think we're in for the title race and shit, then fine. 3 competitions. Why? Realistically, I think it's only 2. If at the end of the season, you win the Conference League, you make top 4, cool. You hit your benchmark. I've always said this. The way they're building this team is an investment. I think next season, Enzo Fernandez will be a much better player than he is this season. I don't know if you guys think this is possible. I think it's possible. Next season, Moises Caicedo will have learned all that he learned of this experience that he got this season, and he'll be a better player next season. Cole Palmer will be more consistent next season. Even the one that's most hated, Nicholas Jackson, I even think next season he will improve because his season's not done. I think eventually he's going to score a goal and we're going to see more goals from him and people are going to calm down about him. I still think he's on a trajectory to get 17 to 18 goals this season. Like, our players will improve from this season. They will have learned from this season, especially if they get a trophy. I think they will be better for next season. From my point in saying that is that this team right now, because it's an investment, I think next season you will start to see, oh shit, like, that's why they bought these players when they bought them. These players are a spine. We are building something here. And these players are now the experienced players that are going to take the younger players and show them how it's done in terms of like, bro, this is what we got to do. This is the mentality we have to challenge and stuff. This is when we lost the league last season. We're not going to do it this season. Now we have Champions League. Like, I think it's a step-by-step situation where we gotta see where we're at the end of the season. because there is a goal for the directors too. You have to be in top 4. This whole idea of like sack the directors after the first mistake they made with Pochettino, I think it's a little ridiculous. I think it's a little relentless. Like it's still that Roman era way of thinking. Because let's be real, the directors had one choice. Did it really work out badly for them? No, he got us back into Europe technically. I would have sacked Pochettino a lot sooner, but because they waited, Pochettino ended up turning it around. Now you have fans saying, oh, we should have kept Pochettino and all this and that. Well, turns out I don't agree with that, but whatever. And now Maresca's playing good football. They actually did their proper waiting time, been patient to see the right opportunity for the right manager to fit the type of football they want to play. They have that manager. They're giving him time. Right now, we are in top 4. We're in 4th place. And let's see what happens at the end of the season. Because at the end of the season, if you do get top 4, you win a trophy, then no one's having this conversation anymore about the directors. They did their job.
I mean, I'm gonna still have that comment. I'll be real, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, just because they reached their objective, I'm still like, with the positions that they were in, with the players that they got, like, I'm gonna be upset that not more was done. And it's not like there's not worrying signs, right? It's like saying like, oh, you know, Roman won us all this, so that means everything was perfect. You know, like, I think you can still criticize. I think there's gonna be a lot that they need to fix, you know, if they don't want to be sacked, which at this point in time, I think there's enough evidence like that we need a sporting director who can plan for the present, not just the future. But
one thing I need to point out, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, right? Because I know I've been ranting for a little bit. I obviously want to give you guys some floor time as well. They held us back a year by signing Poch. Was Luis Enrique the solution? Like, I'm asking you guys in the panel, was Luis Enrique the solution?
In terms of what we're doing, unironically, in terms of the way we play and stuff like that,
he's not a clear cut yes. That's the problem.
I think compared to Poch, you would have to say yes. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I would have preferred him instead of Poch. 100%.
Compared
I
to
agree.
Poch, and I think also if you look at the philosophy of the way we play, unironically, he does fit. Whether we want to admit or not, yes, he does fit. I think we can obviously question how he then works with players and stuff like that, which is another thing. The reality is, though, he does fit the way we play, bro.
Was Nagelsmann the solution?
In terms of the way he plays, again, yes. Whether we want to admit or not. The other two, literally, I would always admit that the other two, in terms of play style and the way they worked with the team in terms of like technical play and stuff, yes, you would have to say yes, bro.
The only reason I bring it up, right, is because these are the links that we had. Yes. Enzo Maresca wasn't available when Poch was available. McKenna, he wasn't available when Poch was available, and we don't even know if he was even the answer, right? Arne Slot, he didn't want to come to Chelsea. I believe that was the story. He didn't want to come to Chelsea. He wasn't interested. He was still at what team was he at in Holland? Oh my God, bro. I know the team. Not Ajax, not PSV. It's not Fenerbahce. That's Turkey. Okay, it doesn't matter. Point is, we were linked with Arne Slot. It didn't work out.
Okay, so
Vincent Kompany.
Listen, Marshall. I'm getting tired of this, man. You know, this is what I like to call the Americanization of the football, man. You know what I mean? Project FC. This FC.
Feyenoord.
You know
Thank you, guys.
You know what I mean? I'm getting tired of this, bro.
It's not even that, guys. It's just like no. For me, it's just I like being reasonable. I like putting context into things.
How many? But I think for me,
it's not black and white. I don't see color. I just see gray. That's all I do.
Okay, listen, that's a crazy statement. Certain people use that. You know, I don't think you should be using that on a person about a nice guy because you're my guy now. I don't think you should be saying that.
Marsh's about to get clipped out of context.
Hey, yo, listen, Marsh. No. But the reason why, listen, it is true. Obviously, there needs to be context in regards to everything we say, right? In regards to, I get that, but I think even with the context and the way stuff is going, you know, it's not all rainbows and sunshines, right? Like there's clearly, right. I think there's something that consistently that we've been speaking about. Goalkeeping, for example, we've been speaking about for the last 18 months.
The recruitment has been
striking. We've been speaking about for a while, the last 18 months. midfield, not so much because we have the midfield depth in my personal opinion. It's just that we chose to send
it
them
would
out.
be fine if Lavia.
Yeah.
We didn't know that Lavia was gonna be this injured.
Yeah,
That's
exactly
Yeah,
right.
none of us knew.
can't plan for that.
Again,
so I think
people.
yeah. See, this is me adding the context, right? I just think for me personally, you know, that there is this added context that we want Chelsea to be back to where they belong on a medium to long-term basis, right? That's something we've spoken about for a long while, whether it be in this channel, and I'm pretty sure anyone here. Like, again, we don't want this thing, particularly towards the latter years of Roman, where it was a lot more of like short-term happiness, but forgetting about the medium
it was a
to
roller
long-term.
coaster. One good year, down. Good
Exactly.
year, down. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I was talking about this idea of like short-term happiness, right? But I think there is also a point that I think Egregious Monk just made a good point that projects also have deadlines. Like, we need to start reaching.
That's why I said
bullet points.
But that's why
I'm actually helping you out here. This is me helping you out, Marshall. Like, right? So like this season, realistically, top 4 has to be happening. Obviously, conference is going to
monetarily,
speak about,
like, the club might be in big
100%.
trouble if we don't.
Yeah, we
100%.
But I think for me, my worry is I look into next season. Yeah, the club realistically, when it comes to a lot more experienced players, right, and all the signings, barring really Caicedo and Enzo, have really realistically failed attracting these guys, right? I think obviously if you may want into the summer window of Bowley where he was getting Chalobah and stuff like that, but I think that's really separately because now we've got directors of football and stuff like that. So I think the game's
we had Champions League money back then.
Yes, and I think the game's kind of changed in terms of that. So like I think for me now, it's gonna be interesting to see in the summer what happens. Are we able to then get these bigger targets maybe, or does the club continuously still follow this model of bringing in younger players and, you know, doing the potential stuff? Because if that really does happen, right, the potential stuff, then I think for me, I start worrying a bit more about this idea. You know, I know I've spoken about this before, but we're starting to become RB Leipzig at that point, because then all we're doing is just trying to get top 4, maybe an FA Cup or like a conference.
I hope that's
like,
not the case.
Yeah, and then, you know, we're not really trying to go for the big for the big one.
Yeah, and this is where I go back to like JP. You said it here. That's the bare minimum, right? Again, because I'm not working with Chelsea, because I don't understand the circumstances, I can't really wrap my head around why the transfer targeting and the links are the way they are, right? For me, the goal, make top 4 and win the Champions League. But most importantly, the very, very bare minimum, because I'll still crash out if we don't win Conference League. The very, very bare minimum, get back into Champions League. Because I want to see how you move once you get that Champions League money. Does then how you target transfer, does then how you bolster the team change? Because let's be real, since they've come in, they've not really had that Champions League money. They lost it the first summer. They were actually able to take advantage of that, right? So maybe that changes how they recruit. Maybe that changes who they target. Maybe that changes how they pay wages. Maybe that changes how they pay transfer fees. I want to see what happens, because in my opinion, if they do get top 4, if they do get Conference League, and next season we start seeing the same type of transfers, then I'm going to start crashing out. Then I'm going to start being like, okay, this isn't good. No, you can't do this. You have Champions League money now. Spend Champions League amount of fees to maintain the level in Champions League as well as in Premier League. But under the circumstances right now, a possibility for why we're targeting the certain players we're targeting is because we're limited in terms of FFP, in terms of PSR, in terms of funds we can use. Because
the ironies of that, Marshall, because I want to actually, because I want a little bit slight pushback, is that we're spending quite a bit of money on these younger lads, like when we're in Conference League. Even
we're
the season
amortizing
before,
now,
right? But we are spending a lot of money. Yeah, but we are buying these we're spending big money on these young players, right? And so it becomes a thing of why are we spending so much money on big money on them lot when we can kind of get guys, maybe it's they're 4 or 5 years older, but they've got the experience, they've got the juice, they've got the you know what I like to call, they've got the proven CV. And like they're not going to the wash phase. They're about to either enter their peak or they're in their peak already.
Yeah. For me, it's just a waiting game. I'm not gonna crash out on them simply because I want to see first how this window ends, because there's still 10 days left of the window, but people want to pretend that the window ended yesterday, right? And two, we can still get top 4. We're in top 4 right now, right? Like, if we keep maintaining this, then we can still get into top 4. It's still very possible. The points gap isn't as large as people like to think. And so if things turn around from this point on, we do get top 4. We get into Champions League. We hit our bare minimum goals. Now it's a matter of, like, how does your attitude change now in the transfer market now that you're back in Champions League? I want to see that.
The good news is, bro, I think if it's anything you want to say, the good news is, in regards to at least my Chelsea perspective, is that we've got 40 points, man. We're not
hey, road to 40 points. We finally got there. Yeah, I agree. 40 points. We made it, guys. We hit one checkpoint.
The big 4-0. The big 4-0, guys.
The big 4-0. So yeah, it's
first out,
that.
Man.
But that's you're the worst. That's essentially why I haven't crashed out. That's explanation why I'm being patient about it, because it's about the big picture, not necessarily about what's happening now. I know right now it hasn't been good. We finally got that win. We're feeling good about it. We're hoping we can keep going. Man City is up next on Saturday. But at the end of the day, they made one right move so far, which is the wrong move to begin with, which is recalling Chalobah. Right? Chalobah's back in the squad. He played a fantastic performance. I hope he keeps it up. There's still 10 days left of the transfer window. Maybe we recall Cucurella. I hope, because we need the midfield depth. It was really close with Caicedo today. We had a scare there. But luckily and hopefully he remains fit and we can keep that, because Lavia, we've seen now, is not reliable. Enzo hopefully will be back by the City game on Saturday. And hopefully we can see out the season through, because we need to get top 4 for financial reasons as well. And then once we get top 4, I want to see how this director moves.
Yo, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh no.
The thing is, like, the worst part is, like, it's not even like we're broke, bro. We're not allowed to spend any more money. That'd be the issue.
Yeah. It's get to the summer, have top 4, and use that Champions League money. Also, I'm hoping we'll have sponsorship by then, which is another added revenue that could help towards.
Broke nation.
Yeah.
Broke nation.
No, we're broke. That's dead ass. Like, let's be real. Like, we're working the finances. We're using the food stamps. We're counting the coupons.
That's
you know,
where, Marshall, though, like, if we're back in the UCL and I still see us signing kids, bro, and not like names,
exactly.
I'm gonna be upset, bro.
What happened to the game I love, man? What happened to the game I love, man? Brokey nation.
Exactly. No, we're budget nation, bro. We're using all the coupons and making sure we're using them before the expiration date, bro. That's exactly where I feel like this is. If I had to, like, give, like, the why this would happen, that's why I think it's happening. So let's see. I'm not happy about it. I wish we could make big name signings, but fuck, man. Blame Bowley. Bowley crashed us out by sacking your manager, Thomas Tuchel. And now we were in top 5 that season. Yeah, bro.
Out of the stream. How dare you associate me with that fraud, bro? How dare you associate me with that fraud?
Listen, it's all Bowley's fault, bro. Man fucked up. Up, and now that's the situation we're in.
Let's be honest, boys. Yeah, you know, if I hear, listen, Armin, I understand him, but let's think through the owner perspective again, Marshall. That's crash out, man. You know what I mean? You're getting me to the edge there, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to be hearing that against Man City when we lose. That's what I'm saying. Let's let you.
All right. Well, actually, before we head out, before we call it, because I think we're good. We spoke on everything, right? Like, Cole Palmer had a quiet game today, but you know what?
Got Cole Palmer. Can I just say, why did he even play today, bro?
Hey, wait. Before we actually end, I forgot to mention this. He finally got subbed off today.
He did. You're right.
Okay. But let's give him a medal. 82nd minute, he got full off. Wow. I'm asking the actual serious question. Let's ask the serious question. Why did he even play today? That brother, respectfully, today was a ghost. No, this is not even me being the exaggeration thing. Like he actually wasn't really adding anything to the game. Wasn't really adding that much to everything like this. And like it really, I think Simon Johnson of the Athletic really put it like perfectly. He was because like he was like, this guy clearly is not 100%. And for me, it's like, again, I look at Maresca slightly a little bit with the side eye emoji because I'm like, you had Nkuku there, you had Felix there. This is Wolves, bro. You know what I mean? These guys can give you something against this team. Nkuku literally last season scored against Wolves, bro. You know what I mean? And he was quite effective when he was playing against them last season. Why can't we just use one of those two guys there?
Can I ask you a question? Because this popped into my head today. Because again, you saw how I kind of gave the different perspective on the directors, right? I do the same thing for the manager and the players. I'm thinking in my head, why aren't you playing Jackson? Or not Jackson, Felix. João Felix. Why? What possibility could you have to not play João Felix? Is it a trust thing? Because as far as I'm aware, João Felix has given you multiple performances that he's shown you can trust on him and you can rely on him. Because he's been pretty good in recent time. Like, if we had to be honest, he's had some good performances. In my head today, I was thinking, do you guys think that it's possible that Maresca's not playing João Felix because he's worried that if João Felix were to get injured, Cole Palmer is another one that, like, if he gets injured, then he's fucked. Because it's really João Felix and him. And in a sense, he's kind of being really safe and not risking Felix getting injured. And Cole Palmer's been reliable. He's been fit. He can play through the pain and all that. Because let's be honest, like today, I agree with Westerro right here. I think today, apart from getting tackled today, he did get tackled and he got knackered a lot today, Palmer. I think the player is playing through injuries and he's just sucking it up. But until he falls, he doesn't want to risk his backup getting injured. What do you guys think of that perspective?
I'll let you go past RSM because I've been chatting a lot.
What's up? my bad.
Ask him the question first, bro.
Bro, I'm in the... What's up?
Man's playing Galaga right now. Allow him.
What are you playing, bro?
Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it.
He's playing Valorant right now, bro. This what is doing the hardcore Valorant.
He's playing Valorant right now. He's playing Marvel Rivals right now. He's 10-0. He's 10-0 in Hawkeye, bro. Allow him.
He was weak, bro.
We're talking about Palmer, right? We're talking about Palmer.
All right.
I'll sum it up. Do you think that Maresca is playing Palmer to the ground because he doesn't want to risk João Felix getting hurt as his backup, his only backup, really?
What are you talking about, bro? No. What? No,
I'm just trying to think, bro.
No, bro. He just doesn't trust João Felix like that. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. Like, he doesn't.
I think it's weird though because Felix has had good performances.
I think Felix has had good performances. But I think his issue is, especially with the run of games that we've had, where it's like what's been killing us is being clinical. Like, you can say a lot of positives about João Felix, but clinicalness is not one of them. Like, that's not his strong suit.
No, not really. Yeah.
So, like, for me personally, like I am frustrated sometimes because I think sometimes the game needs a different look. Like, I think if we had an actual striker sub, I think the ability to bring on a striker and Felix, if Palmer and Jackson are having a bad game, that's game changing. I think the combination of being able to do those two is big. But if, for example, Palmer's having a bad game, nobody's creating, and Jackson's having a bad game with the chances, we've been feeding songs so he can create for Jackson, who's missing his chances, then it's like, it's still not fixing the two pieces that need to be fixed, right? It's like, I kind of understand Maresca in that sense. As through Palmer playing through injury, I mean, I wouldn't know. Obviously, we haven't been officially told that.
He looks like he is though, because listen, like
maybe
he got tackled a few times today. The one tackle from who's a Brazilian guy?
Cunha? Or
No, not Cunha.
Gomez?
I think it was Gomez. Yeah. Gomez tackled him, and it didn't, like, he kind of like shinned his ankles up a bit. Like, I know it hurts, especially because it's cold, but like, I feel like that happens because, like, obviously you have a bruising in that area that is from constant people. Like, obviously, anything that touches you there is gonna hurt like a bitch. You know, you're probably wrapping up your ankle and stuff. Your ankles get clattered all the time in the league, especially because you're Cole Palmer. So, like, at any point this season, I think he's gonna get an injury at some point. He's gonna have to rely on João Felix, and I think he just doesn't want to risk it. Like, I think that's part of it for me, that I'm thinking like maybe that's why he's just playing Cole Palmer. I mean, Ahmed, what do you think on that, man?
Genuinely speaking, bro, I think a big problem is that, you know, I think it goes back to Maresca. You need to start trusting the plays you have. I think that's what this comes down to, for you, Marshall. For me, it actually makes. I feel like this. Oh, listen up. I need to put that on mute. That's on mute.
Oh, okay,
But,
I don't hear it, but
yeah,
I was just gonna say real quick,
because like my issue is like, you know, I think you're gonna create an issue where, you know, Palmer's gonna start having an ego himself, because he's like, I'm never getting dropped, right? Listen, this manager don't want to drop me even when I'm hurt. He's making me play, right? So you're risking that happening, bro. And like, and it's clearly happened last season with Pochettino. It's not happening with this guy. But the problem is, in Maresca's case, you've got a good players on the bench that are just as good as Palmer, bro. In my personal opinion.
Part of me, I agree with that. How do I'm trying to like find the right words here. I think with me, yeah, you know what, man? I don't even know what to say at this point with Palmer. Listen, he was invisible today. At some point in the season, I think we're making progress in terms of like, we did sub him off today. I think overall, I agree with what you're saying, Ahmed. I think it is a trust thing. It just doesn't make sense to me as to how you can't trust Felix at this point, because Felix has, as a player, adapted more to what you're trying to do and has had the performances to back it up as well. But it's one of those things that, you know, until Palmer falls, we won't see it. And it's a damn shame, because I don't want to get to that point. So it's a scary thing to think about. One last thing before we head out. Ahmed, I'll start with you and then RSM. Where the manager's performance today, where do you rate it? I'll start with you, Ahmed.
I mean, I really enjoyed the early subs. I'm gonna be with you. Like, I think we could tell that Neto was.
I said Ahmed, but go ahead, RSM.
No,
go RSM.
I heard Ahmed. I thought you said.
You're good. Go ahead.
No, Ahmed, you can go ahead, man. I feel
No, bro.
No, you started, bro. Finish what you started.
Man.
I mean, I'm happy that we saw the quick changes. I think bringing Sancho on was good. I think Neto wasn't being smart when we were in possession with the ball. I'm gonna be with you. Like, he was kind of being dumb sometimes, just kind of like running into traffic when he was getting in good positions on the left instead of taking on his man, etc., etc. So in that sense, like, I'm not too upset about that. So I think the changes were good. I think the game plan, like, it's frustrating because I think his game plan is correct in the sense that, like, Wolves is, I think, was statistically the worst team in the league dealing with crosses. I'm not wrong with that, right? Like, they're statistically the worst in terms of that. So, like, the game sense is like, okay, the game plan of like, all right, let's start crossing into the box is fine. But what I was frustrated with personally, and I don't know if you guys shared this, is like, there were so many crosses that were going in, and then the one person I see like running into the box and and jumping up for the ball is Cucurella. Like, I swear to God, like 50% of the time that the ball's getting crossed, I see Cucurella jumping for it. It got me frustrated. And I think I expressed that in the Twitter chat. I was like, I'm seeing these good crosses going, but the only one jumping is Cucurella. Like, it's deeply frustrating. But it is what it is. I think, I mean, it ended up working up overall just because, you know, defensively, I think Wolves are one of the worst sides in the entire league. So we were able to break through their defense. I think my worry is obviously like looking forward to like Man City. Like, I think I'm gonna say, like, what are we gonna, like, Jackson cannot have this level of game against City, bro. Like, we need our striker to be on it for City. I mean, we saw that, like, we even saw it last season, right? Like, not to bring up obviously old stuff, but like the FA Cup stuff, like, you know, Jackson missed a ton of chances, and that killed us that game, to be honest. Like, that's what killed us. So I think in terms of Rescue, he has to figure something out. Because if he isn't going to bench Jackson, if he isn't going to give somebody a different look, then he needs to figure out a way to have the team play around Jackson, because Jackson at this moment in time, like he's low on confidence. His touch isn't there. He's not clinical. He's in his own head. So I don't know. I think Maresca needs to figure that out for the next game. Even though I think this game he did good. He did good. Yeah.
You know, I want to say a few things. First things first. Maresca out. I think terrible gaffer. Now, but on a serious note, I think the big problem right now with Maresca is that he needs to realize when a guy is not good enough for you, not ready enough for you, let him hold bench, right? And that, listen, whether we like to admit or not, we need him to be able to do something, bro. Whether it be Montgomery in there, even a Jao Felix in the 9. Let's try him out there, bro. We've got to start trying other options when you've not when my guy's not working there. Same in the 10. I just think for me, Maresca, I don't really have that much to say about him in this game because I thought like our issues were more personnel based, right? And we kind of were able to handle it. But I think there's a big one coming soon, which is obviously the Man City game, and that's gonna really tell us here about the manager's tactics and stuff like that. Really.
Yeah, I don't disagree. In terms of today for Maresca, I think overall it's a positive, right? You get the win. You bring on the subs that you brought on in. Obviously, it was a little late, but whatever. Funnily enough, it did work out for him. He brought on Felix, subbed off Palmer, who was invisible, which we were asking for. On top of it, the guy's knackered. The guy's tired. He was already in doubt for this match, so give him like 10 minutes extra to rest and don't run him to the ground. Disasi was brought in to shore up on the defense. Who else came on? Tariq George came on as well because Neto wasn't working, and as a result, Nani did end up getting his assists, so on and so forth. I don't think it was brought on actually. It was brought on after Nani did that, but Neto wasn't working out, so Tariq George got to play some minutes. We already won the game at that point, so it kind of goes in terms to what Ahmed, you were asking for in terms of we're winning the game, let the players get a few minutes here and there to see where they're at. And Reece James got some minutes under his boots, came off as well. So substitution wise, I think we made good substitutions. I would have preferred the later substitutions, maybe 5 minutes earlier or 10 minutes earlier to hold on to the result, which we did. And yeah, we'll see where this goes. Hopefully next match, which is Saturday, we're here laughing about the fact that we beat City, and we're widening that gap between fourth place and where they stand as well. So that's where I'm at with it. We'll see what happens. But that being said, any closing thoughts, ladies and gents?
Maresca out, Marshall out. You know what I mean? We don't need Marshall as a Chelsea fan.
That's some shame. What's good, RSM?
Hashtag say no to Garnacho.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Hashtag say no to Garnacho.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Okay.
Garnacho.
Oh, shout out Big
Trev,
Trev, by the way. Shout out Big Trev, bro.
I kicked him from the studio. I've had enough. I've had enough.
It's
That's where you draw the line. You draw the line on that one. I kicked him from the studio. I've had enough.
What?
Sir, I have had enough. I have had enough of you.
What happened, bro, man?
Garnacho is where I draw the line.
Barcola?
Okay?
Do you draw the line if I say Barcola in?
Barcola's fine.
There you go. See?
Garnacho's where I draw the
Look
line.
at that.
You know what? Hold on. Hold on, Ahmed. I could put the gun down. If we get Barcola and don't get Garnacho, I accept it. I ain't gonna lie. I'll take Barcola.
That's where I'm
over
at.
Garnacho.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
I'm not gonna lie,
believe
Ahmed.
it.
I'll shake
That's
your
where I'm
hand
at.
on that deal. Ahmed, I'll shake your hand on that deal, bro. If we get
That's where I'm
Barcola
at.
in and that stops Garnacho coming to the club, I'll take it any day, bro. I'll be sorry with you.
That's where I'm at with that.
I can't see
I'm
Garnacho
going
at this
to
club, bro.
I'm
I
going
can't
to the
see.
Netherlands actually next week. So Bridge Nation. He's gonna.
Yeah.
I'm going through France first,
It's
innit?
gotten
I
to
might
get,
make a
yeah.
little cheeky trip to Paris.
Yeah.
I'm
There you go.
enjoying the week.
But yeah, ladies and gents, that's where we're ending it today. Big up to RSM, big up to the Bridge Nation, big up to CP, big up to the chat, everyone that joined in on this
Can't lie, man.
conversation
We need to stop
today.
saying CP, bro. You gotta.
Yeah. Big up to Curry. And yeah, we'll be back again later this week. I don't know what format, but we'll be back. And big up to everyone in the chat as well. Big up to all of our members. And if you are a proper casual and higher tiered member, you guys already know how this works. You get shout outs at the end of every show. And those shout outs are going to go to the list I'm going to bring up very shortly. So bear with me here. Give me 1 second. I fumbled. I fumbled the bag here. Okay, one more thing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's going to go out to CAA Mafia, SDFC Benny, Adam CFC, Pels, EPL Turf, A. Suleiman, TM127, Hassan Nawaz, Dark, EE, and Adrian. Big up to you guys for being members at the proper casual and higher tier. Also, last but not least, be sure to copy and paste the raid message because we're going to be raiding Chic TV, which I believe is still live. Hopefully he's still live. If not, I've had a howler. But ladies and gents, I appreciate you all being here. You all have a wonderful night. We'll see you again later in the week to discuss more Chelsea. And until next time, have a wonderful night. Stay casual. Peace.
Peace.